We are into initials and numbers today. You take the B, the D, or the 4 to Yankee Stadium. And if you take the B or the D, you can see the M&M boys. See what we did there? As tonight, the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Minnesota Twins in the third game of a 4-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, presented by Kia Motors, the Wednesday game of the week. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball. Along with Al Leiter and John Flaherty, I'm Michael Kay. Well, the Yankees got a win last night, 8-3, and it was a backup catcher that led them. And he also had help from a pretty good pitcher. Chris Stewart stepped up.
Well, Chris Stewart, the new backup catcher, his second start of the year last night, and he was put into some situations that he could take advantage of. Bases loaded, bottom of the third, base hit to left field, actually a double, and drives in a couple of runs, and then he follows it up in the 7th inning, another base hit, 3 RBIs, a career high for him, a lot of reasons to smile. Catching CC Sabathia really got into a groove, 4th, 5th, 6th innings. That was the old CC Sabathia, picked up his first win of the season. The Yankees very proud of that.
Let's take a look at tonight's starters. Jason Marquis will make his first start of the year for the Minnesota Twins. And for the Yankees, Hiroki Kuroda will try to get his second win, 2.63 ERA. Al, he pitched the home opener. Boy, did he pitch well.
He sure did, Michael. And down to Tampa Bay, it wasn't quite as good. But you talk about a home opener for a new pitcher, albeit he was with the Dodgers for years. This guy was on. I love the late movement, sinking fastball. He's got the great split, 6 strikeouts in the Angel lineup. The split finger was down the zone, a little backup curveball there. You talk about aggressive attack in the zone. Hiroki Kuroda did a great job.
Well, he'd love some offensive support, that's for sure, and he might get it from the bottom of the order. Brett Gardner is off to one of his best starts. He's been outstanding. What is the importance of Gardner? John Flaherty will come back and tell you next on Yes. The original lineup had red-hot Brett Gardner batting ninth, but about 5 minutes ago, a late scratch because of a right elbow problem, and that puts Andrew Jones in the lineup. And look at his numbers against the Twins starter, Marquis, 9 for 12 with 5 home runs. Well, you know us. That's John Flaherty. I'm Michael Kay. Al Leiter will rejoin us in just a moment. So one man's misfortune could be another man's fortune. And it's kind of weird because we were looking at each other when we saw the lineup originally, and we knew Andrew Jones's numbers. He's 8 for his last 8 with 4 home runs against Marquis to make that even more. So it's a stark contrast there.
Yeah, nice opportunity for Andrew. And you think back to Gardner, who's gotten off to such a great start. You hope that right elbow is not a big deal. It doesn't sound like it is. But I think Marquis is more of a sinker-slider guy, and that fastball falls right where Andrew Jones likes it, down and in. He's been able to do some damage. We'll see if he can do it tonight.
Andrew's taking the field with the rest of his Yankee teammates. In a moment, we'll be back with the lineups. First pitch, baseball. Yankees and the Twins coming up next, right here on Yes. Taking the field, Hiroki Kuroda takes his warm-ups. Let's take a look at tonight's Twins starting lineup presented by Burger King. Denard Span in center leads off. Jamie Carroll's the shortstop. Joe Mauer will catch. Josh Willingham, he's hitting every game this year. He's a left fielder, cleaning up. Justin Morneau, the DH. Chris Parmalee at first. Sean Bowers is a third baseman. Clete Thomas at right. And Alexi Casilla is at second base and batting ninth. Kuroda is ready. And so is Denard Span. Let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch is up and away, and we are underway.
Hiroki Kuroda coming off that great start, 8 shutout innings against the Angels. Home opener here at Yankee Stadium. You see the numbers, very respectable, especially after that start.
That one is looped into center field. It's a base hit for Span.
Let's take a look at the 37-year-old right-hander from Japan. Hiroki Kuroda. Sinker, slider, forkball. That's his arsenal. A lot of late movement, both in and away from the right-handed, left-handed batter. Battery mate, how about this? Russell Martin, he caught him in Los Angeles. Over half of his major league starts, Russell Martin has been behind the plate. And keep the Ducks on the pond. Runners in scoring position last year. He was 5th in the National League with a 194 batting average. It's a good end to see.
Here's Jamie Carroll. He shows bunt, and the pitch is high.
All right, Al, you have to explain the difference to me between a forkball and a split. Right, something with the fingers, right? How spread apart they are?
A little further apart. Hopefully we may have a ball later, but normally a forkball would tumble in some instances, and you've caught them. It almost looks like a knuckleball. A split finger is just to take a little velocity. It has kind of a tumbling two-seam effect. Who did you have that either threw forkball or split and/or? Coney threw. David.
I never caught him. Mike Mussina came up with a split later on. He called it a split, but I thought it acted like a forkball. That's why I think this is whatever preference a pitcher feels more comfortable calling it.
I would say this, John, that Kuroda, I think he has the ability to have different types of split finger. And you're right. I mean, it's a matter of the more you jam your index finger, middle finger in, you'll get less velocity and more downward movement. And also, too, less control of it. You'll see a big dip in it, foot and a half, as opposed to smaller movement. Hiroki Kuroda is a good pitcher. Uses all of his pitches, has to be on corners.
He struggled in his first game in St. Pete, which incredibly, you see that stat. First pitcher with 8 or more scoreless innings in his first home start for the Yankees since Jimmy Key did it in '93. So he had a nice bounce back from that start in St. Pete. But that start in St. Pete was the first start in his career in the States that he ever pitched a game on artificial turf.
Wow. Well, let's see. Yeah, they're
They
doing
start
away with
thinking
all
about National League and maybe some interleague.
There's only 2 places with artificial turf now: St. Pete and
Toronto. At Olympic Stadium.
Is that still in the National League?
Montreal exposed.
One, two. There's a base hit inside third, and it goes into the corner down the left field line. Andrew Jones will play it there. Span will score easily. It's an RBI double for Carroll, and the Twins are on the board first.
Well, Jamie Carroll has had a nice series here. Getting his batting average up a little bit. The Minnesota Twins fans are going to enjoy watching him play because he's just scrappy. And he beats Kuroda to the spot, the little two-seam fastball inside, and hammers it right down the line past Eric Chavez. Be a double and an RBI, and the Twins are on the board. We talked about it, Carroll, the type of player you watch him day after day, you really appreciate what he can do. Putting together some pretty good at-bats in this series.
Here's Joe Mauer. Joe getting his first start behind the plate in this series. He'd been the DH for the first 2 games. Joe was 1 for 4 yesterday, and he was 3 for 4 on Monday. Count 1-1.
Injuries has been a problem for him the last couple of years. Signed a nice multi-year contract after his MVP season. Led the American League and averaged 3 different seasons. Beautiful swing.
Look, guys, this is a situation here I'd always get confused behind the plate when I was catching. You know, you got a great hitter in Mauer, who his job right here is to move the runner to third base. That's what you're thinking as a catcher if you're Russell Martin. But then in the back of your mind, you're like, you know what? He's an RBI guy, middle of the lineup. He might not try to pull a ball. He might go the other way, which is his strength, and pick up the RBI.
That one is looped to left field. Going to be trouble. It is a base hit, and it bounces into the seats. That will score Carroll, a double for Mauer, and an RBI. It's 2-0 Twins. Let's check out the Yankee defense, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Just saw Andrew Jones out there at left taking over for Brent Gardner. Then there's Granderson and Ibanez left to right. Infield, Eric Chavez, Derek Jeter, Robinson Cano, Mark Teixeira, third to first. Russell Martin behind the plate, and Hiroki Kuroda is on the mound.
Boy, as a pitcher, I can tell you this is an absolute frustrating hit. As you mentioned, John, inside corner, not enough. You got a guy that is so good at going the other way that you go against his strength because you would think he's trying to pull the ball. That ball wasn't in enough.
Willingham with an 11-game hitting streak. He swings and misses.
Those numbers jump out at you. 375, 5 home runs already. Yankees saw a little bit of him last year in Oakland, but you see Robinson Cano right behind second base, playing him to pull in the infield, shading him to pull a little bit in the outfield.
Willingham has some numbers against Kuroda. They aren't good. 1 for 9 with 4 strikeouts. Hot shot to Jeter. And there's the first out of the game. Tonight's closed captioning brought to you by Lexus.
Ball away right there, John. Boy, what a nice pickup for Minnesota after losing Michael Kadire and Jason Kubel, longtime Twins. Kadire now in Colorado. Jason Kubel went to Arizona.
What do you think of that right there? I mean, his teammates are congratulating him.
Morneau with a high drive to right center field. Going back, Granderson, track, wall, see ya! A 2-run home run for Justin Morneau. And just like that, it's 4-0 Twins.
Well, the M&M boys were a pain to the Yankee pitching staff the first game, particularly Freddie Garcia. That ball is right down the middle. Morneau had a home run in the first game of this series, had a day off because of CC Sabathia, did well against Morneau. He got all of that. That was crushed. Mistakes early right now. Kuroda's just not able to get in any rhythm. All of a sudden, you look up on the scoreboard and you're down 4.
To Parmalee is a strike.
Well, you think back to that first game of the series, too. Freddie Garcia, fastball, first pitch fastball. Morneau jumped on it. You see the numbers at Target Field as compared to Yankee Stadium. Amazing. At a point, Freddie Garcia came with a first pitch fastball. Morneau jumped all over it, and he did the same thing to Kuroda here in the first.
Broken back looper over the head of Teixeira for base hit for Parmalee. 5th base hit for the Twins in this inning. Stark contrast to his opening day or home opener start.
Kuroda, see Larry Rothschild going out and have a conversation. I'm just watching a lot of first pitch fastballs, and you know, with the Minnesota Twins coming out swinging the bats early, at some point you got to make a little adjustment. Maybe some off-speed pitches in there for strikes early on. Get them off of your fastball, and then you come back to it later on in the ball game.
Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 60 degrees, 34% humidity, not much wind, and they expect some scattered showers throughout the game.
So far, of his 16 pitches, 12 fastballs. As you say, John, they're not missing it. Although there's a broken bat single by Parmalee and Mowers was a flare. They are hits.
The Sean Burrows line foul.
There's a slider. So 17 now.
Well, it's funny, you think back into the clubhouse when pitchers and catchers, they talk about how they're going to attack a lineup. A lot of times you'll hear the conversation, I want to establish my fastball first time through. And it's all great in theory. But if you're Russell Martin and Kuroda, you realize, you know what, that plan's not going to work early on. We got to go to something different.
Soft ground ball to second. Cano gets the force at second for the second out.
You know, it's interesting how this is playing out, because we saw it with CC last night, where he struggled early and was able to settle down. 3 runs in the first 3 innings. And then we saw what Carl Pavano did against the Yankees early in the game. Home runs leading off the game, Jeter and Granderson. A-Rod scored on Teixeira's single, and he settled down. And it's interesting you say that, John, because I know you've been there, where you go into your A plan.
Yep.
And then immediately, are you scrambling? Are you going to B, C right away? It's a bad feeling, but sometimes you have to do it.
Here's Cleat Thomas.
And what I mean by that is that, as John is saying, you know, fastball established, minimum amount of pitches, get out of the first inning, let him not see your secondary. Might not work out that way. Now you're throwing your split. That last pitch that he threw to Burrows was a changeup. You know, you're throwing the arsenal. Here you are down 4-0.
Count 0-2 on Thomas.
Yeah, the ultimate for a pitcher catcher is not to show how you're going to get the lineup out when it's a big situation later on in the ballgame. You want to get through a lineup one time without showing your best off-speed pitches. Unfortunately, Kuroda and Martin did not have that luxury early on.
Burrows now leads off first, held there by Teixeira. 1-2 count on Thomas. Right on the hands and fights it off over the Twins dugout. .22 pitches so far for Kuroda, as the Twins make him work early. A heavily lefty-laden lineup the Twins have put in against the Yankee right-hander. Swing and a miss. Martin gets an angle, and that'll do it. But not before. The Twins score 4 runs on 5 hits. They lead 1. Twins 4. And the Yankees coming back. Chip away at that. It's presented by Lexus. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter, leads off, batting second. And playing center is Curtis Granderson. Mark Teixeira is the first baseman, hitting third. The middle of the order has Robinson Cano at second, Nick Swisher at DH, and Raul Ibanez in right field. And the bottom third, Andrew Jones in left, Eric Chavez at third, Batting ninth and catching, Russell Martin.
33-year-old right-hander Jason Marquis. Been around a long time. He's had a nice big league career. There you see his numbers last year with the Nationals and the D-backs. Very respectable, especially with Washington. He ended up getting hurt when he went over to Arizona. Let's take a look at the pitcher's scouting report. NL career, I mentioned it, 13 seasons in the big leagues. He's 104 wins. Atlanta, St. Louis, the Cubs, Colorado, Washington, Arizona. Here he is, first time in the American League. Fastball changeup combination. He throws a lot of changeups to left-handed batters because of the lineup. Well, now you have Andrew Jones in there, so you have another right-hander. And #1 Tottenville High School, John Flaherty, #1 pick in 1996 by the Atlanta Braves. Fighting Pirates, Tottenville, Staten Island.
Powerhouse.
Are they?
I don't know.
Is it Charlie Wands' school?
It might be.
Marquis' first start of the season. I'll tell you why as we move along. Derek Jeter has had a very good homestand so far, 8 for 22, off to a great start, 367. See the 3 home runs. I believe his 3rd home run last year was his 3,000th hit. So that came in July. There's a base hit for Jeter. The patented inside-out swing. 1 on. Let's check out the Twins defense, which is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. In the outfield, Willingham, Span, and Thomas. That's left to right. Infield, Burrows, Carroll, Casilla, and Parmalee. Mauer behind the plate, and Marquis is on the mound.
We're looking at Marquis' numbers, Alan. More than a hit per inning. The ERA 4.5 last year, but a good sinking fastball, so he can get some double plays. Not overpowering, just knows how to pitch at this level.
Jason Marquis was a guy that I mentioned at #1. Just a little Staten Island plug there, but here's a guy, power arm. And through his career, when you think about what the potential was for Jason Marquis, and I'm not saying it's over, 33 years old, 104 big league wins, nice career. But he's learned how to pitch. His last few years, his best year was in Colorado a couple years ago, 15 wins. Not an easy place to win. No. And he came up with that changeup.
Big Island guy, grew up on Long Island, grew up on Staten Island. Told you about Tottenville, threw a no-hitter in the 1991 Little League World Series. Now the reason he's making his first start is with about 2 weeks left in spring training, he got a phone call that his daughter Reese had an accident, a bicycling accident, and it seemed innocent enough, but the handlebars hit her almost like in the stomach area, and it lacerated her kidney. Check that, her liver, and she was in pretty bad shape. She lost a lot of blood, 3.5 pints of blood, and there was a chance that it could end terribly. But she was out at the ballpark yesterday with her dad and her brother, and she has pulled through it. She's had 4 surgeries, and for a while it was touch and go. So Jason did exactly what he had to do. He just left the team and was at his daughter's bedside. It's going to take her 3 months to fully get over it, but she obviously is checked out of the hospital, and she was at the game yesterday, so we send our best to her and to Jason and the family. Scary. So the reason he didn't start until now, away from the team for 2 weeks, and all the pitch count and the length that he built up to that time in spring training, you have to almost start, not at the beginning in his case because it was 2 weeks, but he needed to build back up that length in terms of pitches, and here he is.
You know what? It kind of worked out nicely being home with the family, but he was able to pitch for New Britain a little bit, right? Their minor league team.
Driven deep to center field. Off the bat of Teixeira, run down by Span as Jeter tags and goes to third. So Teixeira hit it hard, but Span ran it down. Also, we should give some kudos to Staten Island Hospital, Staten Island University Hospital. They had a great trauma center, and she was transferred over there, and they helped Reese pull through this.
Certainly puts it all in perspective. Yep.
Here's Cano with runners on the corners. One man out. Twins 4. Yankees batting in the bottom of the first. One and 0. One-0. Fouled away.
You know, John, I know coaches, certainly it's a positive vibe thing. You know, we talked about it yesterday, and I think, you know, there was a couple instances during the first 2 games of this series where Cano, you know, was either just a little late on the fastball or swinging at the breaking ball in dirt. Typical combination. So I talked to Kevin Long about it, and he's like, look, if you look at these at-bats, I know it's .239 batting average, but he is hitting the ball hard. And I know Kevin Long is as good as anybody in baseball, certainly as a hitting coach. He always has some little something that, you know, working on. He's like, he's fine. I mean, you know, I like what I see. It's just a matter of he'll get there. And you were talking about it last night.
Good pitch, good location, 1 and 2.
Well, you remember last night Robinson had a double, also hit a line drive right to first base, hit it hard, had a couple of at bats against lefties, hit the ball hard. But when you watch him foul off pitches that you're so used to seeing him hammer when he's locked in, it just tells you he's not 100% there right now.
There's a base hit to left center field. Jeter will score easily. Granderson moves to third. Cano's going for 2. He's in there. The ball gets away, but Parmalee backs up. So the Yankees are on the board. An RBI for Cano. And it's 4-1 Twins. And with that base hit, that's the first RBI out of the cleanup spot for the Yankees this year.
Well, pretty impressive when you can get on top of a fastball like that. And we talked about Marquis. Doesn't throw mid-90s anymore, but still a major league fastball up in the zone and hammers it the other way, and then hustling into second base. The high throw from Span allows him to slide in there. I really thought the at-bats last night for Robinson against the lefty, I think it was maybe 4 at-bats he had against left-handers. Sometimes that locks you in going the other way, and you see the first RBI from the 4th spot for the Yankees.
And the pitch to Swisher is a strike. Could be a big pick-me-up for Kuroda if the Yankees could play a couple more after he gave up 4 in the top of the first. There's a ground ball up the middle, and the Yankees going to play a couple more. Granderson scores. Cano scores. It's a 2-run single for Swisher, and the Twins lead 4-3.
Well, like Kuroda gave up a couple little blooper and also broken back single. Part of the game. Nick Swisher 2 for 4 last night with a walk. Just far enough out of the reach of Alexi Casilla. C&I ground ball base hit. Nice approach. Not trying to do a whole lot. Robbie Cano staying on the ball, going the other way. Here you see Alexi Casilla. The outstretched reach glove. Keep the line moving. Making it a little bit easier on Kuroda.
Well, it's amazing how the emotions change. Kuroda in the dugout, loving what he's seeing, but Marquis and the Twins, you're 4-0 in the first. Now it's 4-3. Been the story of this series. A lot of scoring in the first inning. And who can settle down?
Ibanez takes low.
Well, a nice test for the Yankees offensively here against Marquis. I mean, we've mentioned he's not overpowering. You can't try to do too much. Yankees going up the middle the other way. A nice approach. Got to be patient.
Andrew Jones is on deck, waiting with his AJ-18 custom cut end.
Who cares? It looks like a leg to a nice table, doesn't it?
Ibanez has had some success against Marquee. 8 for 22. That's 364 and 2 of the 8 home runs.
Yeah, those years in Philadelphia, obviously, Ibanez, Phillies against the Nationals and several other National League at-bats.
Two and two.
Yeah, and I always thought, you know, there's two schools of thought. And I know I was reading Kuroda's quotes about he faced the Angels, so he had a game plan and felt good about facing players he faced before. I think the more a hitter sees a pitcher, you only have so many pitches, movement, arm slot, all that. Advantage hitter, I always thought.
And the count now full at 3 and 2.
He's not going to invent stuff. You know, fastball, slider, curve change, whatever the arsenal is, and it is what it is.
Well, you talk to a lot of major league hitters. If they haven't faced a pitcher before, they're going to go up there and be patient, take pitches, get a look at movement, velocity, how the ball's coming out of his hand. The Twins went completely against that in that first inning. Jumped on everything he threw early in the count. See if Swisher's on the move here with 1 out and a full count.
Runner was going, and the ball fouled off.
Always smiling, huh? See if he's got a little track meet here.
13 RBIs in the middle of April. I'd be smiling too. Up to a great start in the production department.
Runner goes, base hit up the middle. Swisher will go to third. And the Yankees have runners on the corners with 1 out.
Well, we showed the numbers. Rick Anderson, the Twins pitching coach, going to come down and settle Marquee down. Ibanez, nice at bat, gets the 3-2, fouls off and spoils a couple pitchers' pitches, and then saw an arsenal of 3 changeups in a row. And I said that's his MO. Jason Marquee, left-handed batter. You see it tumble enough. It was up enough for Ibanez to be able to get a good pass at it, hit the ball hard enough past the second baseman.
You know, you look at that replay, that pitch is down, has some movement going the other way, but if you look at all the Yankees hits tonight, Jeter goes the other way, Cano goes the other way, Ibanez right back up the middle. I mean, that is not a bad pitch at all.
But 3 in a row, same speed, same kind of rotation, out of the hand, that whole history. That is nice hitting.
Yeah, it backs up the baseball, and then the approach for the Yankees early on here in the first, go the other way, middle the other way, and it's worked out.
Here's Andrew Jones, not in the original lineup, but he's glad he is because of those numbers. 9 for 12, 5 home runs, and 8 for his last 8 against Marquee, although the last time he faced him was 2007.
There's not a doubt in my mind, Michael. Jason Marquee looked at that lineup and said, whew, Andrew Jones isn't in there. Because when you have numbers like that, and that's not 2 or 3 at bats, 5 home runs with an unbelievable batting average. And now what, right before game time, Gardner goes down. Oh, by the way, Andrew's in there.
And he doesn't come up with nobody on, first and third, 1 out. Chance to do some big time damage.
You almost wonder why he wasn't in the original lineup with those numbers. Maybe Joe's thinking 2007 was a long time ago. Those aren't applicable anymore. He's not the same hitter, and Marquee's not the same pitcher.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of truth to that. You have a long history over several years. Pitchers change, hitters change.
Or he's thinking Ibanez had good numbers, which we just saw.
Yep.
Gardner's been a hot hitter, so you want to keep him in there. Good problem to have, I guess.
28 runs in this series, and 12 of them have come in the first inning. And then both teams kind of settle in, take a deep breath. Two one. Popped up behind the plate. Joe Mauer will run out of room.
All right, Al, who was the guy who wore you out? Couldn't get him out. Kinder Andrew Jones against Marquee.
Tony Pena.
Tony Pena?
No. What am I talking about?
Tony Gwynn?
Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn.
Tony Pena. He's in the dugout. I don't think I've ever faced Tony Pena. Mark McLemore.
Good hitter.
Couldn't get him out. Look at here. Interesting enough. Nobody at second base. Multiple signs. Now, what happens? You, as a pitcher, catcher, pitching coach, everybody thinks, well, you know, maybe they're peeking, maybe they know the signs. Good base runners that take a short lead, they usually have a little bit the ability to peek in and pick up a sign. Not only a running count, but in some cases, I used to believe this, that they may be able to transfer it to the hitter. I want you here. You'd have multiple signs with the runner at second base. He's doing it, obviously, first and third.
Is Mauer going with the Jorge Posada?
Yeah. The white fingernail polish.
It is.
Did you do that, John?
Never did that.
Too manly. Look at him.
Oh, no, my
Ergo,
God.
what does that mean about Posada?
You're right. Posada,
big
big
saying?
hands, didn't use batting gloves. Monster, right? No, I'll tell you, the old stadium with lighting, there were times where, I don't know how it is here. Never pitched here, but the old one, it was
shadows.
Yes. That looks pretty clear right there on the HD.
Well, life is in HD, Al.
It is beautiful, isn't it?
Is that a little rainbow there coming out of the S in the stadium? Very nice. Runner goes. 3-2. Foul ball.
You wonder, too, guys, with every pitch he throws that Andrew Jones fouls it off. Good pitch, foul off. Good pitch, foul off. Just gets another look, another chance to add to those impressive numbers.
Swisher's at third. Ibanez at first. One man out. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Twins 4, Yankees 3. The old Jeff Nelson doesn't work.
Yes, it does.
Didn't work there.
Yeah, but it stopped him from either getting a good secondary lead, and it holds him up enough to where if there is a base hit to right field, he won't get to third base because of it. So there's your Jeff Nelson.
Runner goes. Fouled away. Very defensive about the Jeff Nelson.
No. You know what? Because I was with you for a long time, but I saw the value of even where everybody thinks it didn't work. Is that, well, he was going on that. So he waited long enough, obviously, to see him going home. But if they're unsure, they have to wait just a smidge longer. A hard two-hopper to right field, base hit. He's either bang, bang out at third or he holds up. It's a lot more important when you have one out. Sack fly to the outfield, he's at second. He's not scoring. What?
Runner goes again. And that one's in the dirt. So Andrew Jones walks. And the Yankees have the bases loaded. That'll bring up Eric Chavez. Now Chavez playing third. And it shows you when you have a team that's loaded, every managerial decision is a tough one. Alex Rodriguez sitting out tonight. We're all standing around the batting cage. Alex Rodriguez was putting balls in the seats constantly. And he walked out of the batting cage at one point and said, it's the best I felt all year, and he's not in the lineup.
Relaxed, right?
Yep.
He's got his sneakers on. Chatty. You're right, he was hitting bombs. Way up in the bleachers.
Chavez rips one down the right field line, but foul.
Well, if you're Joe Mauer behind the plate, you're seeing a lot of good swings against your pitcher. Pitches up in the zone. Chavez had a good swing, pulled it foul. A very defensive feeling behind the plate. 32 pitches already in the first.
Chavez loved these situations last year. Runners in scoring position, he hit .415, 17 for 41. Quickly down in the count 0-2. That was good for 22 ribbies last year. Had a lot of opportunities to go somewhere else this year, but he only wanted to play for the Yankees, and he waited and waited until they made the call. He said he just had a great time here last year and liked the role. He knows he can't play every day anymore. He'd break down. It was a perfect situation on a winning team. Hot shot. Grabbed there by Casilla. They get the force at second. On to first. It's a double play. So Chavez wraps into a 4-6-3 double play. But the Yankees get 3 runs on 3 hits. Check that, 4 hits. One of the big ones was off the bat of Robinson Cano. And then Nick Swisher chimed in with another. 4-3, Twins lead. Brought to you in part by the professionals at your Tri-State GMC dealer. Why just go when you can go pro? By DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV. And by Acura. Acura Advance. So 7 runs in the first inning, 4 by the Twins, 3 by the Yankees. So let's see if the pitchers hit the reset button. Kuroda will have the first go of it. Both teams sent up 8 batters in the first, so leading off the second for both teams will be the number 9 batter. In the Twins' case, it's Alexi Casilla.
Don't you know it, Michael? Great play. Leads off the hot smash.
Chavez hit the ball hard, but it was a good play by Casilla to start the 4-6-3. Driven foul. That one is looped into center field. Granderson's going to play it into a single. Kind of caught between there as Casilla will stop at first. Seemed like he wanted to go for it, then was afraid it would get by him, so played it on the hop.
Well, he was shading Casilla a little bit the other way as well, and then he concedes right there and plays it on the hop and throws it in, holds him to a single. Not the greatest 0-2 pitch in the world right there. Line drive into right field. Supposed to be down in the dirt. Actually, it has some movement down. Another good piece of hitting. Kind of like what we saw from Garcia the other night. You know, good location, but not a lot of action on the pitch.
Span takes a strike. Span got thrown out of yesterday's game in the 3rd inning after a strike. 0-1 pitch. Made it 0-1, turned around. Talked a bit with Greg Gibson. Got tossed, and he was quickly followed by his manager. Ron Gardenhire also got tossed. They didn't like that call. Had some words. More words. And that's it. Get out of here, he said. Clear.
And you two. You know what? I was surprised, you guys, because Ron Gardenhire's a quiet guy, I thought. Who do you think's the #1 active manager for ejections now that Bobby Cox is gone?
Is it Gardenhire at 61?
Yes, it is. And he's tied with old Jim Leland. But Jim, 3,100 games. Gardy's got 1,600. Surprising.
Seems like the ultimate player's manager, you know. Can go out there and protect his guys.
Taped a couple of center stages today. One with John Cusack and one with Richard Gere. Both great because of them. And the audience, you know, between shows asking questions, and the most asked question, what was the stuff on the umpire's uniform shirt? Everybody wanted to know. Did you find out, John?
You know what? Al and I knew that you were going to want to know the answer to that, so we did some research and found out.
All right, what was it?
Chalk.
Chalk?
That's what they said.
That's what Pete said. He takes care of the umpires.
Yeah.
Said it was chalk all over Greg Gibson's shirt.
And that is our final answer.
You don't seem impressed.
I'm impressed that you guys did that work. It seemed like it was there from the very beginning of the game. So when did the chalk kick up? And also, if chalk was there, wouldn't he wipe it off?
He doesn't care how he looks out there. The guy's an umpire. He's a gamer. And how about this? Before the game starts, he goes and wipes off home plate.
Right.
You think that maybe some chalk could...
Or a little bit gets on your hands. You do one of the old wipe on your shirt. Many possibilities, Mike. That was the #1 question with Richard Gere and John Cusack.
They didn't ask those guys. They asked me.
Yeah, right.
That one is looped into center field, but right there is Granderson.
They're playing golf right now, John. There's some pretty good split finger fastballs that Kuroda's thrown. And right now, if I'm Kuroda, I'm thinking they're not respecting and honoring my fastball. They're sitting back long enough to take that gap-to-gap approach. He's got to pound more fastballs in. Look at this. This is like a cricket hit.
Wow.
Look at that.
Well, you hear it all the time, Al. You know, change eye levels. Throw some fastballs high to change the eye level so you get some swings and misses at the split down.
You think that's chalk? That's from last night.
Yeah, look at see this one right here. That's the defining chalk. See how it's like.
All right, so mystery solved.
If Petey in the umpires room says it, it's true.
Now, was Petey upset with you because you kind of took a gratuitous shot at him?
Yeah, word on the street, he came up here to talk to me about it, and I wasn't around. I was down on the field working
with gloves.
Wow. I don't think he wanted to, you know, to get into it with me physically with a fight, but I think, you know, I called him out a little bit.
Right.
And Pete does a great job down there. And I apologize on the air, Pete.
It wouldn't be wise for him to go after you because you're in the best shape of your life right now.
True, Foss?
Triathlete, you look great.
He's eating almonds.
No, these aren't almonds.
Oh.
Pecans.
Pecans.
Pecans, pecans.
One guy's eating pecans, the other guy's eating Twizzlers.
And you got the Diet Coke and Atkins bars.
Quite a trio. Casilla leads off first. One man out, 1-2 count on Jamie Carroll, who had an RBI double in the first. Runner goes. Swung on and missed. Throw to second. Not in time. The slide got him in. The throw beat him in plenty of time, but Casilla eluded the tag by Cano.
Well, if you're Russell Martin, you cannot do it any better. Throw clearly beats him, but Robinson Cano did not apply the tag. You give Casilla credit, sliding to the back side of the bag. We used to do this all the time. Was Kenny Lofton did a great job of that. Would slide to the back side of the bag and reach around.
That was very good. Boy.
And you watch the throw. Russell Martin, good pitch to throw on, does everything perfectly. Right there, you're thinking out, no problem. But Robinson Cano, watch where he receives the ball. So far in front of second base. Wasn't able to apply the tag.
Boy, that could be a big play right there. You've got Maurer up now, and that would have been the end of the inning, and Maurer would have let off without anybody on base. Yankee executive Gene Michael always tell me, he said, I don't understand why guys receive the ball in front of the bag. They should be straddling the bag. He said, you can get a guy and miss him on the tag if you're in front of the bag, and we saw that right there. Gene was a really slick fielding shortstop with the Yanks, and he would stand and straddle the bag, but that's not what Robinson's doing here.
Well, it looks like Robbie's momentum was leaning toward the pitcher's mound. Watch his body just taking him toward the shortstop. That's just a great heads-up slide by Alexi Casilla. And you're right, Michael. He was not in the best position.
1-1. No harm, no foul. As Maurer grounds out to Cano, and that will do it. No runs, a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. We go to the bottom of the second. 4-3 Twins. Minnesota athlete has the most star power. You can text your vote to 42951. Standard text messaging rates apply. Here are your choices. Kevin Love of the Timberwolves, he's a great player. Joe Mauer, he's in a lot of commercials right now. And Adrian Peterson, who's going to come back from major knee surgery. Three pretty good athletes. Russell Martin will lead off. 9-1-2 in the Yankee order. Martin, Jeter, and Granderson. Yankees down by 1. Want to note the passing today of a broadcasting icon. Dick Clark, at the age of 82, suffered a heart attack. Many years he's been battling back from a stroke. Just an incredible broadcaster. You watched him on American Bandstand and New Year's Rockin' Eve. He will be missed. And Dick Clark Productions produced so many hours of TV. Just amazing. You'd watch him on the air, and he was so effortless, and he will be missed. So he passes away today. So thoughts and prayers go out to the Clark family. Breaking ball strike, 2-2 to Martin. Swing and a miss, gets him.
The best fastballs Marquis has thrown have been inside on the lefties, bringing it back to the inside corner. A real good one there to Russell Martin, in on his hands. See if he can find a little rhythm after a tough first inning.
Jeter takes inside. We all remember Jeter's 3,000th hit last year. He's at 3,107 right now, 3 more, and he ties his idol, Dave Winfield. He's 3 behind. That would tie if he has 3. Now in his line to left. Nice catch there by Willingham.
They're so locked in, Derek Jeter. Typical swing you see so often going to right center field, but he's comfortable enough. Watch balance, see this front door slider, the ball at his hip, ends up being inside corner, being able to pull his hands in. Little different than his normal swing. Beautiful. Look at his head down, nice approach. Just enough on the end of the bat to not really be able to drive it over Willingham's head.
Seeing a lot more of that pitch lately, Al. That front hip slider, right on right. Always used to be such a dangerous pitch because if you missed it, would end up in the seats.
You know, one of the first guys that consistently did it was Greg Maddux. Throwing right at the hip. It's a give-up pitch. You're right. The danger of that is if you're not in off the plate flat or inner third, now it's a inner half middle, which is a nice pitch for most guys to drive.
1-1. 2-1.
Greg Maddux was the first right-handed pitcher who had ever thrown me a changeup inside on purpose on an 0-2 count. And as an 0-2 count, as a right-handed hitter, you're guarding against a fastball. You see it on the inside part of the plate, never got there, strike 3. And actually went to the video to look and see where the catcher was setting up inside on purpose. Never seen it before.
On 1 hop, Casilla makes the grab, and Marquis with a bounce back inning as he retires the Yankees in order. 1-2-3. We go to the 3rd. Josh Willingham will lead off against Kuroda. It's the series finale between the Bombers and the Twins right here in the Bronx. Complete coverage starts at 6 with Audi batting practice today in the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then Al, John, and I are back in the booth for the call only on Yes. The Twins are in town, Al. John, the Twins are in town. You get it?
Ah, yes. There's no doubt they're twins.
They dressed alike. They look alike. We go to the third. And one of the most productive twins, Josh Willingham, leads off.
What a start to Willingham's year. Separating the lefty M&M boys. He's done a nice job. Obviously, the 5 home runs, 366 average, feeling good. First year with Minnesota.
On the Lincoln scoreboard, Twins lead the Yankees 4-3. Willingham might be one of the few players that might think that Target Field is a fair ballpark after he played in the Oakland Coliseum, which is cavernous.
Which isn't right. And he ended up having a career year, 29 home runs last year, 98 RBIs in both categories.
3-year, $21 million deal with the Twins. High pop-up. Chavez used to play with the Oakland A's. They put it away for the first out. Visit MLB.com/fan-guide for a chance to win a VIP experience for 2 this year at an MLB World Series game. Presented by Scott's, the official lawn care company of Major League Baseball.
All right, do you throw Morneau a first pitch fastball?
No. Slider or split. Either a backdoor slider or a split finger. Here in New York.
Seen a couple of first pitch fastballs and 2 home runs in this series.
Now that's a good combo right there, right?
Yep.
Split.
Excellent.
Wow.
Line drive, base hit.
Well, I was thinking along the line, you split outside, swings through it, stands him up, but look where he wants this ball. This is supposed to be up in the zone. That's belt high, has a little leak or tail back out over the plate. Morneau is just feeling too hot, too good. Wants the pitch right here. Looks like a 4-seam cross the horseshoe. Trying to drive it in, which is what you try to throw. If your hand gets off center, you'll get the ball to come back over a little bit. Big hitter like Morneau, very dangerous.
Well, although he didn't execute and get it to the spot, I actually like the idea going with a fastball up in the zone to change some eye level and then go back to your best pitch, which is your split down. So you like the idea,
yep.
Just didn't execute the pitch.
How often, and I'm a big believer of, even if it's the wrong pitch with conviction in the right location, it's a good pitch. It's quality. I mean, there are certain hitters in the big leagues where you could see the numbers where you just say, hey, all you have to do is throw him something off speed, you can't hit it.
2-1 to Parmalee.
Location. I know guys over the years, Tommy John I played with, location, but location and movement.
Yeah.
Because how often do we see it? We saw it the first game with Carl Pavano. He didn't throw a ball over 87 miles an hour. And then you see guys 95 plus getting their brains beaten. Middle. Not easy. It is not easy to do. 60 feet, 6 inches away, and trying to hit a small little spot, change speeds. Best in the world right here.
Given out to deep right field. Gibby chases Ibanez on the run. He's going to play it off the scoreboard. Morneau will stop at third. It's a double for Parmalee. And the Twins have runners on second and third with 1 out.
Yeah, and it looked like another pitch that was up in the zone. Up and out. Looked like it kind of just spun and sat there. Parmalee takes care of it. This ball is middle of the plate a little bit more. It's a home run. But he hooks it to the gap in right center field. But, you know, Al, I'm sitting here wondering. I mean, Kuroda came off such a great start. You see on Yesmo. Another look at the pitch.
I'm thinking this right here, John, is a slider, which is very curious for me. Yeah, that's a slider. You see the spin. But he's trying to go back door, which, again, is a little bit dangerous because now you're thinking outer third black outside corner.
Pitch to Burrows is low.
Pitch, and I haven't seen Kuroda enough that, you know, that might be his arsenal. I know he throws a split finger, decent to plus fastball at times, but you really have to have really good confidence and command in a backdoor slider. That's a good pitch. Look, they're sitting long enough to look for something off speed. That ball wasn't as far inside. I'm sure it smelled and felt really close. But that's it, John, when you're talking about changing the eyesight.
Eye level,
even
yeah.
at 90 miles an hour, just eye level, inner third, get him off that split finger down the way.
(3-0), first base open. Cleat Thomas is on deck.
Well, I was just thinking, though, I mean, Kuroda throws opening day at Yankee Stadium and throws a great game, right? You say, okay, he's hot. Now he's got to wait around 4 days, come out for your next start. Tough to do as a starting pitcher. I mean, to keep that momentum going, start to start.
Heck no, not 8 innings shutout ball. You're feeling great. I mean, reading and listening to the quotes of Kuroda after the Tampa Bay start. He was nervous, Yankee Stadium,
yeah.
American League, and just nailed it. Now when you have, I don't know how, even though it's four days, and I hear what you're saying, but you know that's just the life of a starting pitcher. You can't wait to get into a start like this.
I think from the hitter's perspective, you're right out there the next day. You know, if you have a good ball game, you could ride that out for a week, day after day after day. A starting pitcher has to wait around a little bit.
They were Potta getting up in the Yankee pen. Yankee starting pitching so far in the early going has not been very consistent. But still they are 6-5. Ground ball, base hit through the left side. Morneau scores. Parmalee will stop at third. The throw goes into Chavez. An RBI single for Sean Burrows. And now it's 5-3 Twins. First hit of the year for Burrows, and he went with the pitch.
This pitch here, this is a fastball that's supposed to be in. I mentioned about the four seam as your true, straightest, fastest throw. Now let's see if we got a good shot here of him throwing it across the seam. That ball is supposed to stay true and bore in. I wasn't really able to tell. That might have been a two-seamer. Two-seam is a sinking fastball. Let's see. Russell Martin is setting up. Now that was the previous pitch. That was the split. And we were talking about split fastball combo. It looks to me, John, that his split finger is cutting. And that's not what you want from a split. A split is a ball that should go down and away from the lefty.
We talk about it all the time. Down and into a lefty, dangerous pitch. You don't have to be as perfect as a hitter to put it in play.
And just to clarify that, the reason why you have a slider as a pitcher, right-hander, you have a breaking ball that'll go into the left-hander. Slider, curveball, whichever one is your breaking ball, and then a split staying inside the baseball, it'll run away. So you have kind of the scissor effect. I mean, you mentioned it. You know, 4 days ago, dominant Yankee home opener, a team that everybody's picking to maybe, go into postseason, go to the World Series. That was a curveball or just took a little off his slider. Just off with his command, and that's what's going to happen for a guy that doesn't throw 94 or 5 miles an hour. You're missing, become predictable, getting bad counts. And it looks to me, I don't know how you feel about this, John, but there's some more patient approach to Kuroda and maybe looking for off speed because, that velocity is 91-ish.
I think getting in the bad counts, we didn't see any of that in spring training. Would get ahead and throw strikes with all his pitches. Came over from the Dodgers with a reputation as a strike throwing machine.
Runners on the corners, 2-2 count. Cleat Thomas. Check the swing, so the count now full at 3-2. Do they send Burrows?
If you're Russell Martin behind the plate, you're thinking strike him out, throw him out. If they do send Burrows, try to get your pitcher out of this inning. Defense has been out on the field for a long time tonight.
Strike 3. Runner was not going. Thomas down looking. Big strikeout for Kuroda and the Yanks.
Great pitch. Dotted the ball in. Watch the movement here. This is a sinking, running fastball back over the plate. That is beautiful. Right on the glove. Watch Russell Martin. That ball looks exactly. That's the effect right there. That's a beautiful shot. It's supposed to look like it's coming at the left-handed batter, coming from the right-handed hitter. Clete Boyer reacting. That ball comes over. Nice pitch. Phil Cuzzi ringing him up.
Here's Casilla. Grounded foul. (5-3) Twins lead the Yanks. Twins scored 4 in the first.
Is he gonna ball?
Brought a glove. Why not?
No, did her sister bring the glove too? And they're twins. Everything's the same, right?
Right. Well, they're dressed that way.
Grounded up the middle. Cano is there. Flips to Jeter. And that's it here in the third. 1 run, 3 hits, and 2 men left. Coming up for the Yankees, 3, 4, 5 in the order. Tex, Cano, and Swisher. It's a great giveaway that will help you follow the Yankees all season long. Tomorrow when the Yankees take on the Twins, it's Magnetic Schedule Night, and all guests in attendance will receive a Yankees 2012 Magnetic Schedule courtesy of AT&T. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the stadium ticket window, the Yankees clubhouse shops, or you can call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849.
But Don't stick it on a stainless steel refrigerator.
That's right, because it wouldn't stick.
It will not stick.
Lincoln scoreboard 5-3 Twins over the Yanks, and here is Mark Teixeira. Hit one deep to center in the first. Run down by Span.
I don't know. I want to go back because we did a game in spring and you said about correcting, and I said Cleet Boyer last time.
Really?
And you heard it, and I meant Cleet Thomas. So there you go.
I think we settled it in spring training. I'm not going to correct you on the air.
All right.
That one is served into left field. Willingham is there. John, how would I have looked if I said, oh, by the way, that's Cleet Thomas, not Cleet Boyer? Wouldn't I look like a jerk?
Yeah, it's not a great teammate thing to do,
right? I'm thinking there's somebody out there who will...
No, there's not somebody. There's a lot of people ripping you for it.
Right. Yeah. So why not?
Why should your teammate do it?
It's not a rip. It was a brain cramp. Cleet Boyer had him as a coach when I was here with the Yankees and Billy Martin.
And Cleet Thomas is named after Cleet Boyer, so that was in your head.
That was it, because the first game of the series.
His dad's favorite player was Cleet
Boyer.
Boyer.
That's what I meant.
Here's Robinson Cano. Robinson Cano's RBI double in the first inning. The first ribby out of the cleanup spot for the Yankees this year. First of obviously many to come. Deep drive, right field. See ya! Oh, what a shot by Robinson Cano. A solo home run. 5-4, Twins lead. Cleet Thomas did not move 1 inch.
Robinson Cano, some better swings last night, and RBI his first at bat. And now he fills up a column for the New York Yankees, his first home run of the year. We'll take a look at the pitch. Supposed to be a cutter in on his hands, and it stays middle of the plate and just spins. And all of a sudden, that swing for Robinson Cano, instead of being out on his front foot a little bit, the balance is perfect. Nice backspin. Whether it's Cleet Boyer or Cleet Thomas, he does not move.
The bomb. Well, what did Kevin Long say before the game around the batting cage? I'm not worried about him. He's real close.
All right,
he's positive.
Is he really going out on a limb, though? I mean, and our Coors Light cold hard blast.
And watch Cleet Thomas. And he watched. Just turn.
Good point, John. And it's not about that. I'm saying about when during the season, no matter whether you're Robinson Cano, who everybody in baseball watches, marvels at his skill, there's still moments during the year where you tinker. Yeah, he's doing his elbow, he's gliding, his stance, whatever. Nothing.
So he's just staying away.
Staying away.
Staying away, not saying a word.
Al, I have a question to ask you. You're pitching. You give up a no doubt about it, like Marquis just did. Does that chap you that the outfielder wouldn't even give a couple of steps back? Is that showing the pitcher up?
A little, but just at least turn. You don't have to go back, but just don't not look, because there is a little bit of that.
Lined right at Parmalee for the second out.
But you're not worried too much about. There's a little reaction because you're going to look. I never had a problem with long home runs because I felt I'd rather give this ball up here because it's a mistake. Jason Marquis didn't get his cutter in enough. Now let's see. He's turning around. He's admiring it, looking at it. But I've had, I'm sure, an outfield where a bomb was hit and they just didn't even look back. But it's funny. There are a lot of pitchers who would rather give up a wall burner home run than just a no-doubter. And I always felt if I made a mistake and you squared up, all right, I don't care.
That's what you're supposed to do, yeah.
Yep.
Ibanez with a fly ball down the left field line. Long run for Willingham. And it's in the seats. Fielder's going one way, ball boy going the other way.
Young Al Leiter right there.
Southpaw.
Right?
Got a little cutter. Two-seamer.
Isn't that talking, though? 1-1. 2-1. Ibanez with a single in the first. And the count 3-1 with Andrew Jones on deck. Rolled over on that one, ground ball to second, and that'll do it. But the Yankees get a run back, and they did it in dramatic fashion. As my buddy would say, that one's high, far, gone, home run. The Yankees trail by 1. New York State Smokers Quit Line Quiz. During the 1960, Harmon Killebrew led the major leagues in home runs with 393. Who are the other 4 players who also hit 300 or more home runs during that decade? We'll find out in the bottom of the inning. Top of the order for the Twins. Denard Span chops one to second. Cano is there, makes the play. 1 pitch, 1 out. Want to send out get well wishes. Jeff Steele of Emerson, New Jersey, a supervising U.S. probation officer at Manhattan Federal Court. He's a rabid Yankee fan, and he has been put on the heart transplant list. So we wish him our best luck. Everybody in the Yankee organization sends out their best wishes. Everybody a yes. So we hope you get that heart and you feel better, Jeff. And a strike. Count 1-1. Grounded to first. Right there is Teixeira. Joe Mauer comes up. Let's take a look at the Home Depot hitters scouting report for Joe.
Well, the 2011 season was a nightmare for Joe Mauer. Bilateral leg problems and pneumonia, and the numbers were just not there. But plenty of hardware on his resume. A 2009 MVP, batting champ 06, 08, and 09. He loves hitting at the new Yankee Stadium, just like his buddy Morneau. This will be his 13th regular season game, batting average at about .348, 3 home runs. The M&M boys love hitting in the new Yankee Stadium.
And the Yankee version of the M&M boys loved hitting in the old Yankee Stadium. Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle. Morneau has played 2 of the 3 games here in this set. He was off yesterday.
Really is a shame when you think of how it started out, and then this the last couple of years, and the injuries have just riddled his playing time.
Sounds like a broken back ground ball up the middle. And the first 1-2-3 inning of the night for Hiroki Kuroda, who's coming up in the bottom of the 4th for the Yanks. Andrew Jones will start it off. Time for the answer to the New York State Smokers Quitline quiz. 1960s, Harmon Killebrew led all of Major League Baseball in home runs with 393. Who were the other 4 players who also hit 300 or more home runs during that decade? The answer is Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Frank Robinson, and Willie McCovey.
The 3 of the 4. Forgot Willie McCovey.
Willie McCovey just made it in.
Right, that's why.
Yeah.
I was contemplating him and Freddie Patek.
Yankees down by 1. There's a strike. By the way, top of the 4th inning, 7-pitch inning for Hiroki Kuroda.
Hopefully for Hiroki Kuroda, he settles down like CC did last night. First 3 innings, CC gave up 3 runs and was stellar after that. 7 1/3 innings. Next day, nice gutted out win. It's a W.
It was interesting. CC recognized that the velocity wasn't there last night. He said he actually thought that might have helped him a little bit. concentrate on location a little bit more, pitching a little bit more. But Al, you hit it last night with his body language in the middle of that game. Once he got the lead, he said, you know what, I'm winning this game. This is my game.
Jones goes down on strikes.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, John, if you were able to sense it as a hitter, but I sense it as a pitcher where you had guys, first of all, you know who's hot and who's cold. So you want to take advantage of that. Stay away from the hot guy, obviously cold. But, you know, the demeanor and the attitude and just the whole physique of a guy who's struggling or not, how they come up to the plate in between pitches. Do they look confused? Are they not? Just don't have the confident look.
Shattered bat looped into short left field. It's a base hit for Eric Chavez. One out single for the Yankee third baseman. Follow the New York Yankees with the MLB.com @Bat12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text it back to 31826 or visit Yankees.com for details.
This goes to show you how unfair this game is. Chavez was up with the bases loaded, hits a rocket to second base, double play, nothing to show for it. And here shatters his bat. Base hit the other way in the book.
Here's Russell Martin.
You know, it's so true, and at some point in your career you hope you realize it and you figure out what your job actually is. And you just perfectly described how moments where you think you did your job as a pitcher, second and third, 2 outs, a broken bat, shattered, blooper into left, 2-run score, and you're having to answer to, because it's a game winning, as to what happened. Big moment.
Russell Martin gets plunked.
Well, it's going to happen when you have a guy who throws two-seam fastballs, gets underneath it a little bit, rides it up and in. But you got Russell Martin on the tricep on the left arm.
Tough guy, Russell Martin. Those catchers, huh?
So he'll have a little ice on that after the game. Feel it tomorrow morning when he wakes up.
Randy having a good time with the fans.
Part of the game's kind of changed a little bit, huh? Derek Jeter would have a good time with the fans. Curtis Granderson, same thing. Although interaction.
Although I played with Ricky Henderson.
That's true. Yeah.
It's constant.
Jeter drives on to right field. Right there is Thomas for the second out. Here's Granderson. Chavez at second. Martin is at first. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning at 5-4 Twins. I don't know. Marquis has 18 decisions in his career against American League opponents. 10-8, 5.50. You always wonder, and we've seen it here a lot, how a National League pitcher, essentially a National League pitcher, translates into this league. Sometimes it's not very good. Other times it works out. Kuroda, we'll see how he deals with it.
I'm sorry, Mike. I know you gave an ERA, but I was looking at the book.
5.50 against American League teams.
And he's 4.55 in his career in the National League.
So 1 run more. That's about right, right?
I always thought 3/4. I thought whatever the National League ERA was, bump it about 3/4 of a run. It's somewhere in there. I don't think it's a full run.
pretty nice block there by Mauer.
Get another look at it, setting up away, and that's what makes this play a lot better, Michael. Being able to move to the inside part of the plate. It was not textbook in that the glove was down and the body followed. That was just an emergency. Try to get there and beat the ball to the spot, which he did, covering a lot of ground. When I watch Marquis pitch here, though, he seems like a Minnesota Twins pitcher, you know, not overpowering, throws the ball over the plate. Liriano has the best stuff of the staff, but, you know, almost like Carl Pavano, little movement, off speed.
You know, and it's always been that way. For years, I can remember Rick Anderson, longtime pitching coach for the Twins. That's what they preach. From the minor leagues up, it's about throwing strikes. Don't worry about striking guys out. And even with the walks last night, they have 25 walks as a staff, second to the Texas Rangers this year.
Strike three. Granderson down looking. So the Yankees do not cash in the opportunity. No run to hit, 2 men left. Let's go to the 5th inning. Twins hanging on by 1. It's amazing. I'll tell you guys something. Bobby Valentine looked like he'd straightened things out when they took 3 in a row against Tampa Bay. Then they lost a 1-0 game. And now Texas is really showing how good it is. Texas is a really good team.
How much of a concern do you think John Lester is? I mean, last night he gave it up, got pounded pretty good by that Texas Ranger team.
Yeah, but his previous start, I think, was solid. I don't know if he got a win, but I don't think he wouldn't be the guy that I'd be worried about right now. Texas is a good ball club, Michael. I mean, you know, no question the Red Sox are troubled. You know, Beckett on the mound.
Kia scoreboard. Twins lead the Yankees 5-4. Why don't we check out the Delta League leaders, home run leaders. Matt Kemp with 6, Josh Willingham, Josh Hamilton, and Chris Young all tied with 5.
Josh Willingham up there with Matt Kemp. Well, how about this, guys? If I said these names, Ryan Braun, over the last 3 seasons, Ryan Braun, Carlos Gonzalez, Matt Holliday, and Josh Hamilton are the other 4 left fielders who have higher on-base percentage slug. Who would the other guy that would be part of that crew last 3 years?
Is it Josh Willingham?
Honestly, I mean, you see these stats, and Josh Willingham, I got a chance to play with him when he was a young player with the Marlins. Great guy, just grinds it, plays the game right. And when you see, you know, MVP guys, Josh Hamilton, Ryan Braun, And this is a pretty fair snippet. I mean, it's not just a good season. Last 3 years for left fielders in the game. Some all-star MVP guys. After Florida, went up to Washington Nationals and got his career going. Guess you didn't like that one, huh, Mike?
I loved it. I really did.
What I haven't seen Willingham enough. I like how short his swing is. You know, when you see power numbers like that, you think he has a long swing.
Didn't have to swing there. He takes a called third strike. Here's Morneau. He's 2 for 2. Let's take a look at the Mazda pitch profile. How did they go after him?
Well, yeah, this first at bat, he saw a heater that was supposed to be away deposited into the Yankee bullpen. Home run, and then what did he do here? He ends up smashing a ball to right field. Another fastball. Looks like the fastballs are something that Mr. Morneau likes a lot. That split finger, breaking ball, put in fastball counts. It really seems effective to throw that changeup split away. And when you come in, don't miss inner third. Get off the plate.
I'm sitting here thinking to myself, it's the 5th inning, and how many really good splits or forks have we seen tonight? I mean, it's tough even to remember a real good one. Kind of when it came out with all fastballs.
That one's drilled deep to right. See ya. Home run for Morneau. He is punishing Yankee pitching. And now it's 6-4 Twins. 3 for 3, 2 home runs for Morneau.
Well, he loves hitting here at the new Yankee Stadium, but talking about Kuroda, came out early with fastballs and then went to a different plan, which is more sliders. And it looked like that was the pitch that Morneau got, a slider in the middle of the plate. An absolute bomb. Russell Martin setting up away. It ends up middle down. When Justin Morneau is not going to miss that pitch when he gets it.
And that is the last pitch that Hiroki Kuroda is going to throw. Morneau, his 14th 2-home run game, and Kuroda didn't have to look. He knew that that was in the seeds. But then, just to make sure. So he's gone. The Yankees go to the bullpen with 1 out in the 5th. They trail by 2. Kuroda's night is over. The numbers by Morneau in this new ballpark, they're obscene. 12 games, 489, 7 homers, and 10 runs batted. In those 12 games, he's had more home runs than he's had in his career at Target Field. And he's a home twin. So it's just amazing. Yankees have to make the call to the bullpen because of that second home run, and it's brought to you by AT&T. And it's Clay Rapata. This will be the 6th game for Rapata. 4 1/3, 10 hits, 6 runs. Didn't walk a batter. 4 strikeouts, 81 pitches. So certainly not near what he did on the home opener last Friday. Right.
Well, just early on, there wasn't a time where it really felt that he was settling in, even after he had the scoreless fourth. And I just saw issue John with that split finger that just looks like a breaking ball. Kept throwing that backdoor slider, dangerous pitch. Obviously, we just saw what Morneau did with it. But he really didn't have anything consistent that was going down and away from the left-hander with this heavy left-handed lineup.
You know, we gave the numbers for Marquee against American League teams. Kuroda in interleague play against American League teams, 4.9, 4.04. And a lot of scouts, when the Yankees signed him, said his stuff can translate into the American League. But not just the American League. It's the American League East. Now, this is not an American League East team that he's facing. But this is different. Ballparks are different than the National League West. National League West ballparks are gigantic. You can make a mistake and the ball's going to stay in the park, in Petco, Dodger Stadium. They're big yards. AT&T. No, in the NWA.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yep.
This ballpark is a little more unforgiving if you make a mistake.
Yeah, but it's tough to judge him tonight because I don't think he had his best pitch at all with the split or the fork ball, whichever one he wants to call it. It was like non-existent from the beginning. So one of those starts where you go out there without your best pitch and you get beat up.
Now, what's interesting, though, is that never in his life has he pitched in a league that had the DH. He pitched in the Central League in Japan, which does not have the DH. Pitched in the National League that does not have the DH. How much tougher does it make to navigate a lineup?
It's a lot tougher. I mean, you have some American League lineups that, a guy who hit 20, 25 home runs is ninth hitter. We saw that with Robinson Cano a few years ago as a ninth hitter. Obviously, you can't maneuver. I always thought it wasn't just the eighth hitter where you pitch around to get to the pitcher. You could navigate 6, 7, 8 to get to the pitcher based on what's going on with an out or two. If it means that you get bad counts and you end up pitching behind in the count, you walk a guy, you start over again. But I really think that is the difference of, we saw Marquee's numbers were it was exactly a run difference of his ERA against American League. Yes, it's different in American League East. You make good points. Even in American League West, big ballparks there as well. The offense isn't as good.
Last year, Kuroda, 13 and 16, 3.07 with the Dodgers. But as I mentioned, 12 starts against American League teams, 4.04. So in both cases, both pitchers, it's about a run more.
But I want to go back with what you said, John. I mean, what we saw here of his 81 pitches, yes, he nailed some nice, there was a handful of pitches where you said, okay, that looked good. Clayton Thomas, he had a couple lock-up fastballs. I thought he did throw some good breaking balls.
Soft ground ball to first. Mark Teixeira had to go around Rapata to tag out Burrows for the second out.
But it was really a matter of execution of his pitch or lack of. Here you see Rapata getting in the way there. Get out of the way. Judge as to whether you think your first baseman's got it. That's a tough play all the way around. There's really no communication. You're taught as a pitcher to get to first base. Any ground ball to the right side. Nice play by Mark.
Well, if you take a look at this lineup that Gardenhire's put together, he's made it very easy for Girardi with his left-handed pitching. Morneau, Parmalee, Burrows, and Thomas. 4 lefties in a row. That's how you can keep a guy like Rapata in. And you can see that Gardenhire has not brought his righties off the bench at this point because then the Yankees have righties out there. He's going to stay with his lefties as they go deeper into the game. It's only the 5th inning. But a manager looks at the lineup at the beginning and says, okay, this is where I can exploit one of my left-handers, and that's what Girardi's doing.
That's where Clay Rapata really has to take advantage of it. It's walked too many in his young Yankee career. Looked great in spring training against the lefties. An opportunity for him tonight to get on track. But Al, getting back to Kuroda, I mean, how many times you go out there as a starting pitcher and you just realize, you know what, I had nothing tonight. Oh, 5, 6, 7, 8 starts, maybe a year more.
Oh, yeah. Well, for me, I thought it was more than that. As far as your A game, will you just go, wow, I feel great? Yeah, I think you have at least 5 to 10 starts a year that you're feeling, boy, I better come up with something. Doesn't mean now, right now, I get with you, my catcher, say, hey, look, you see, I'm short on the fastball. Give me a good low target. Let's pitch behind. Maybe I find it as the game goes along. And I'm curious, when you're catching a guy based on somebody who has experience, whether you say gulp, he's not going to go 5, or you say, okay, we got to work.
We got to trick him. We got to find a way to trick him. Call pitch. The scouting report goes out the window. You start calling pitches, almost making it up as you go to see if you can get away with one.
Swing and a miss. Rapata gets Cleat Thomas. But the long ball has played a big part in this game. Justin Morneau couldn't be kept in the park by Hiroki Kuroda, and Robinson Cano against Jason Marquis. We're halfway through. Yankees down by 2.
Our Kia scoreboard, the Twins lead 6-4, 10 hits as opposed to the 6 for the Yankees, and Jason Marquis back out there for the bottom of the 5th, and he will face the middle of the Yankee lineup: Mark Teixeira, Robinson Cano, and Nick Swisher. Well, Jason Marquis in line to pick up a win if he can get through a couple innings. There's a possibility of a win, but a hard shot by Mark Teixeira in the right field to lead off the 5th. His first base hit of the ball game.
Pretty good hitting right there. Changeup that ended up, let's see here. You got Mauer on the outside corner. It goes down and gets it. Enough to the barrel. That changeup just had enough of the plate. Good hitting. Not terrible location. Getting it past just Chris Parmelee, first baseman.
So runner on first, that'll bring up Cano. Cano with a double and a home run against Marquis. Yankees down 6-4, so Robbie stands in there as the tying run.
I'll bring that up about Marquis because I can't tell you how many times I've had pitchers in the past say, if I can get 3 outs in this inning, I'm in line for a possibility of a win. After it started off poorly, 3 runs in the first inning for Marquis against them. And all of a sudden he's saying, as bad as it's been, still have a chance to pick up a W. My first game with the Twins.
Boy, I know it's the inning for a pitcher of record, but wow, you know, if that's even remotely going through his mind, not good. You got a long way to go. This Twins bullpen is not a strength. They've had some nice arms, done a good job. Matt Capps, their closer.
Trying to tie it right there.
Good change up there and a fastball count. Robinson Cano's been feeling pretty good about himself going the other way. His first at bat, and then the home run is second. Big swing and a changeup and a 2-0 count.
Brian Dunsing, hard-throwing left-hander, and the Twins bullpen.
Dunsing came in that first night of the series throwing 95 or better. Real good velocity.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Howard towers all of his pitchers. I think he's like 6'6". He stands on the top of the mound. He looks down on everybody. Oh, it makes Phil Cuzzy look tiny. Two-two. Grounded to first. Parmalee will get the force, and they throw back to first. They get him. Oh, they turn that double play. Never thought they'd get Cano, and Cano doesn't think they got him. He tells Vic Carapazza as much. Let's take a look. He's clearly safe.
Wow, that's not even close. These Major League umpires are so good. That's not even close. And the Yesmo, boom.
Wow.
You know, it looked like Robbie smothered a little bit there, hesitated. You saw that hesitation. He was still safe, but he would have been absolutely safe, or at least beat the throw by a good couple feet.
Now, we love Yesmo, but you really didn't need Yesmo for that. That wasn't one of those eyelash, you know, gee, I missed it. That's pretty blatantly bad call.
Well, you wonder with Robinson, though, a little hesitation coming out of the box. Maybe he thought he pulled it foul, rolled over it a little bit, stayed fair.
Fouled away.
Good. Doesn't have that mid-90 velocity, but you could see the late movement. Good sinker, born down the zone, ground balls.
And the 3-1 to Swisher. Soft ground ball is short. Carroll charges, fires across his body and across the diamond for the final out. No runs a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We'll go to the 6th. Alexi Casilla will lead off. Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. By Burger King. And by J&R Music and Computer World. Yankee Stadium on a Wednesday night in the Bronx. Yankees are trailing by 2. And Alexi Casilla will lead off against Clay Rapata, who came on with 1 out in the 5th to relieve Hiroki Kuroda. So Kuroda, 1 great start, 2 subpar starts. Now the Yankees will have to come back to try to take a loss away. There's a base hit for Casilla. And Larry Rothschild will come out and talk with Kuroda. Interesting thing about the Twins when we see them for the first time this year, they were universally panned by the experts this year, picked near the bottom of the American League Central. But I think a lot of people said you can't figure Morneau's going to have a big year with the concussion syndrome. Mauer, after what happened last year, he's not going to give them that. John, if they get anywhere near what those guys have done in their MVP type seasons, I'm not saying they could win the Central, but they could be relevant.
I'll tell you what, the 3rd game into this series, I feel a whole lot better about the Twins than I did coming to Yankee Stadium for the 1st game of the series. And for that fact, you didn't know what you're going to get from Morneau and Mauer. Willingham is a solid player who's gotten off to a great start in the middle of those 2 guys. You just wonder about the pitching, the lack of the pitching. Do they have enough to possibly compete?
David Phelps warming up, and they got the news they thought yesterday. Scott Baker, really their #1 pitcher. He underwent Tommy John surgery, and he's going to be out anywhere from 12 to 18 months, although of late it seems like the rehab's been perfected where it is just 12 months. But that's a big blow. How do you replace those 200 innings and really good 200 innings? He was a good pitcher. So they're a little short starting wise.
Yeah, and if you go into their winter, I mean, we talk about, where team payroll is, and much of the money is in Mauer and Morneau. They weren't able to re-sign Michael Kadire. He's having a heck of a beginning season there in Colorado. Jason Kubel, solid left-handed hitters out in Arizona. Nathan came back, albeit not where he was a few years ago before surgery. Now he's in Texas. So you got your closer, 2 of your starters. You bring in Willingham, so there's kind of that uncertainty. And they had 99 losses last year. Their pitching was second to last in the American League.
And in order to clean up the mess from last year, they brought back their really well-respected GM, Terry Ryan, who's been at the ballpark this whole series. And they want to get back to developing players because they have a higher payroll now. They kind of got away from what they did so well to get them to that point. And that's what Terry Ryan's trying to do, build up the farm system again and produce rather than go out and spend. But with the new ballpark, it gave them more of a revenue stream, and they certainly spent more money on payroll to their credit.
Well, in addition to that, Terry Ryan, the architect for all those years of putting together very competitive teams, 95 through 2007. You mentioned Bill Smith came in, his assistant. They're going to have the 2nd pick overall in the draft. In the first 72 picks, they have 5 picks as a result of losing some of the free agents. And that's big for a small market team.
And their reputation for all those years that you're talking about, Al, was a great scouting department. Take advantage of those 1st-round picks, the high picks, always produced. How many organizations, I remember Tampa Bay when I was there, they had a bunch of 1st-round picks and didn't pan out, and then all of a sudden they hit on a few of them. Price, Longoria, big-time pick.
I think that's a great example, John, what's taken place down in Tampa with, just a patent good program. They're pitching. You see with Jeremy Hellickson now and James Shields, you have guys within. Matt Bourne looks like a special player, pitcher coming up. And that's where you have to do it. And I think with Terry Ryan getting an opportunity to get these draft picks, Houston's got #1, Minnesota 2. If you do your scouting right, you get a real special player.
playing catch with Mark Teixeira. Missed outside. Chop to Chavez. He's going to go to second one. On to first. Double play. Around the horn, 5-4-3 to double up the speedy span. Quick turn at second by Cano.
Well, and also Eric Chavez really got rid of this ball in good shape. Goes to his left and a little short arm flip to Robinson Cano. The strong throw across, and you figured any bang-bang play would go the Yankees' way after the call went against them the last half of the inning. Robinson Cano double play.
What do you think, John? I think you got that one wrong, too.
Yep. Yeah. A little payback, it looked like.
Let's see.
That was a lot closer than Robinson Cano.
Well, I know there are 2 outs and you don't start a discussion, but we'll pick it up. But you just wonder, you see 2 plays like that. Is instant replay something that's warranted to get it right? Should it be expanded? I know it would make the game longer, but should it be expanded?
Well, I wouldn't go with that. I think if it's done properly, you got a 5th umpire up here. It would take as quickly as what we just saw. An earpiece, boom, right down the umpire. They got it.
1-2. Strike 3. Jamie Carroll down looking. So good job by Clay Rapata. No runs a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. Raul Ibanez leads off. Text ball. Once again, the question: which current Minnesota athlete has the most star power? You've been texting us at 42951. Overwhelmingly, you say Joe Mauer. I guess those Head and Shoulder commercials. Adrian Peterson, 34%. Kevin Love, who's quietly an outstanding player for the Timberwolves, 19%. So we go to the bottom of the 6-4 Twins lead the Yanks, and Ibanez will lead off. against the new Twins pitcher as they bring in Brian Dunsing in relief of Jason Marquis. John, we never got your take. Would you want instant replay?
You know, I kind of like Al's idea, though. How quick that could happen. Have another umpire up in the booth, look at a replay, earpiece, let's go to work. My biggest concern is when...
Is it too much?
Is it too much? And do you say, okay, you know, a double play here, we need to look at a replay? You know, like, how do you pick what plays you're going to look at again?
Well, but you should look at every single play. I mean, if the guy's up here, it takes a lot of time before the batter gets up anyway. That's looped into left field, a base hit for Ibanez. You know what I'm saying, John? I mean, and then you signal down to the field that they got it wrong. You just let it go.
If it's that quick enough, that would be great. You know, you worry about it, maybe a challenge system where a manager is able to challenge 2 plays a game. How long would that take?
Will Logan and Soriano warming. The only thing that worries me about baseball is a continuation sport. So do you send people back if you got the call?
Right.
That's what gives me the willies.
Runners on base, if it's a called catch and everybody stops and they made a mistake and it really wasn't a catch, where do you put the runner? Now it's subjected to the umpire's decision. Would he have scored at second base on a liner to left?
That one is driven deep to left field, but right there is Willingham. He makes the play for the first out. Tomorrow's starting pitchers, let's take a look at them. They're brought to you by Verizon Fios. Welcome to America's fastest, most consistent, most reliable internet. Welcome to life on Fios. Anthony Swarzak looking for his first win. Phil Hughes looking for his as well. Our coverage begins with the BP show at 6. Then the pregame show at 6:30. First pitch around 7:08. Phil Hughes was talking before the game. He said the fastball is there. He's got to correct some things he thinks he has. He's not overly worried. He thinks he can correct what he's done wrong in his first 2 starts.
I mean, that's good. Obviously, you want Phil Hughes to think clearly, have nice side work with Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, feel good about going into a start. And I think there's a lot of reasons why you would not think anything otherwise, because his velocity has been good.
Eduardo Nunez is going to pinch hit for Eric Chavez. Well, Alex Rodriguez is on the bench, and they're choosing to go with Nunez here in the 6th inning. And we repeat, during BP, A-Rod was putting on a show.
Well, if the game stays like this, there will be a Alex Rodriguez pinch hit opportunity somewhere here in the next couple of innings. Two nights ago, Dunsing was throwing with better velocity so far as fastballs around 92. Was a starting pitcher, relieved most of last year.
Watching Nunez up at the plate now, I had a chance to talk to Robbie Thompson, third base coach, before the game, and he said, you watch Nunez now, he's just more of a confident player. You know, the at-bats are better, fielding ground balls, kind of gotten over that hurdle. Getting an opportunity here, pinch hitting, coming in hitting .462.
Popped up. Palmer Lee will make the play for the second one.
The guy's struggling as Russell Martin is. You just start searching a little bit. You end up getting caught in between. First pitch, a little slider. He pulls off a little, missing what he normally would connect on or square up on. Fastballs middle of the plate.
Count 1-2. Missed outside, 2-2. High fly ball, right field toward the line. Thomas, and he'll make the play for the final out of the 6th. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We're going to take this to the 7th. Joe Mauer will lead off. Check out YesNetwork.com's new Game Connect, our new social networking app that lets Yankees fans interact with each other and the broadcast booth while watching the game. See what other fans are tweeting about and get up-to-the-minute scores and in-depth pitch-by-pitch stats, all at YesNetwork.com. That's a pretty cool thing. Boone Logan will come on, and he'll try to get out Joe Mauer. Logan's done a nice job. This is his 6th game, 4 2/3 innings, 7 strikeouts for Boone. Opponents hitting 125 against him. And the Yankee bullpen so far in the early going has been splendid. 2.39 ERA in 37 2/3 innings. Cadillac scoreboard, Twins 6, Yankees 4.
Well, nice job by Clay Rapata handing the ball over to Boone Logan now. See if he can keep the Twins at bay here in the 7th inning. Got to go right through the middle of the lineup. 3, 4, 5. Mauer, Willingham, and Morneau.
Al, you've seen this guy. You've seen what he does. He's won 3 batting titles. How would you get out Joe Mauer? What would you do?
I'd pound him right in here, Michael. Stay upstairs. Get him to think that you're going to be in on his hands. And when you go away, it's got to be. I think his strength is definitely on the outer half. I think that's what has been a problem for him at the new Target Field. His best home run year was the last year at the Metrodome. It's a nice shot right here. I would stay somewhere in this area. Up. Stay away from down and in. Get him conscious of inside. Then down and away is opened up. I think when he's feeling right, the first game he was pretty comfortable. That ball to left field, they're not flares. They're driven to left field.
You know what makes him tough, and we just saw it from that great angle up top. His stride is non-existent. You know, he doesn't go forward.
That one right there, Michael. Now, what happens is, not just once in a while, if you throw one in there, say, okay, you know what, lefty, he's going to do breaking ball. See the no stride, what John was talking about. Beautiful swing. There's a reason why this guy was #1 overall. Nice contract, well deserved. Kept him in Minnesota, local boy from St. Paul.
John, is the lack of stride why he doesn't hit for that much power?
It's part of it, but it's also why he doesn't swing at that pitch right there. I mean, that was a quality pitch from Boone Logan, down and away with 2 strikes. And he kind of flinched, but he wasn't out on his front foot. He wasn't fooled. And it's why the batting average is a lot higher than most catchers or hitters in this league. Again,
a little bit of a flinch there, but the balance. You're right. The balance is reason why. You know what John's talking about. If he could keep that head still as he did, slightly out front, you see the front knee bent a little to where he maybe was baited in. But these are decent takes. That one wasn't as good as the take before.
Good pitches by Boone Logan, just missing down and away.
See, he just missed.
Now that's a great take.
Yep.
See it out of his hand. I like that up and in window. I always thought, you know, the better hitters, Barry Bonds, you know, there was a window there as good as he was. I remember if you could get in that little spot for lefty on lefty. Freddie McGriff, you see a career resume. Certainly tops when it comes to catchers and offensive ability. 3-time Gold Glove. Legit star. Shame he got hurt the last couple years.
Now, the game on Monday was the first time that Ron Gardenhire decided to separate the M&M boys in about 4 years. And not an easy thing to do because they were locked into 3 and 4 for a while. But Willingham is swinging the bat well, and Gardenhire said, I'm going to put him in the middle of you two, so it makes it tougher to bring in a lefty. And I don't want to stack lefties like that. So it's worked so far because in the 2 games that Maurer and Morneau have played, they've produced.
And I think Rod Gardenhire, we just went over Maurer's swing, how he's as good to left field as he is to be able to pull the ball. So this guy, doesn't really matter, lefty, righty. And I think he viewed it that way, Gardenhire, that you didn't have to separate them because they can hit lefties.
They can hit lefties, no problem.
That one is skied to center field. Right there is Granderson. And now it's up to Logan to try to get out Justin Morneau. The Yankees have not done a good job of it in this series. He's 3 for 3 tonight with 2 homers and a double.
Well, it's been on the fastball, but he got a backdoor cutter that Kuroda just really didn't have much command. And the movement on it was really a dangerous pitch as a right-handed batter, especially here at Yankee Stadium. You know, if you're gonna open it up, let him go left field.
That's what I'm saying. I'm catching here, big part of the ballpark, right? Make him hit the ball the other way. Everything he's done in this series. Hit a drive to deep left center field. Curtis Granderson ran down. Those numbers are incredible. 7 home runs at the new Yankee Stadium, only 5 at Target Field, his home field, 80 games.
You know what John's talking about, this area here, and come off it, feed off of his excitement of the numbers that John just talked about. There you go. Now the harder the 2 breaking balls, hard to pull. The slow one, a good hitter can click it out front. As strong as Morneau is, he could still pop it out here at Yankee Stadium, especially.
I got old pitching coaches going through my head right now, Al, where they say, hey, you can throw a fastball inside. Just make sure it's off the plate inside. You know, tease the hitter, get him excited that you might throw a fastball in there, but make it be a ball. And then stay away on everything else.
Yeah, and know the hitter. I mean, there's plenty of hitters in the big leagues that they don't barrel up every mistake. But as John was saying, I mean, inside, if you could establish a couple here, at least for Morneau to feel it, and know that you'll double up in there, now that opens up this spot over here down the way.
Soriano warming up. Logan making some good pitches. He made good pitches to Maurer, and Maurer laid off, and now he's 2-2 on Morneau.
That's a good point, Michael. A lot of these pitches, the same ones he threw to Maurer, and Maurer just either, you know, did a nice job not swinging, took them. Morneau a little bit bigger stride.
Location wasn't great, had downward tilt, off speed, got him out front.
Swing and a miss, and they get Morneau. Really good pitching there by Boone Logan as he retires the tough Morneau.
Smart. He showed a couple fastballs. Morneau has shown that obviously he likes the heater. Most big leaguers do, but lefty on lefty. Now the previous one, it was really about the off speed that got Morneau out front. That was just a good slider. He's committed, unlike Maurer, not as balanced. A little wave at the end there, hoping that he can foul it off. It's a good pitch from Boone Logan.
Count 0-1 on Parmelee. Parmelee's 2 for 2 with a walk. Another strike, painting the outside corner. 0-2. 94 miles an hour. You throw 94 in the black, you're going to get people out. And the 0-2. Swung on and missed. They get him. Big inning for Boone Logan. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left on base at the end of 6.5. They're getting up and stretching here at the stadium. Twins lead the Yankees 6-4, but we'll stay right here and listen to God Bless America.
Rise and offer a moment of silent prayer as we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Thank you. Now join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from love, from the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean.
all of that information, I mean all of it, on the post-game show. Meredith Barakovich will work the clubhouse. You must stay tuned after the game. Wouldn't you say so, John? If you were not working this game and you were watching, you're there, right?
Well, I'm going to find out what happened at the end of this game. I'm going to find out from Kuroda's interpreter what he felt like about his game.
All you need.
And maybe the rest of the American League.
Time for the game summary, brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. 6-11-0, beating 4-8-0. Morneau, 2 home runs, 3 ribbies. Cano, a double, a home run, 2 ribbies, 2 runs scored. And as John said, Kuroda did not pitch that well in this game, but the Yankees are still in it. Bottom of the 7th inning, Derek Jeter leads off. Yankees are down by 2. Brian Dunsing on in relief of Jason Marquis.
Well, this game is far from over. You see the Yankees will have 3 shots at it here.
Cadillac scoreboard 6-4. Twins lead the Yanks. Hot shot up the middle, a base hit for Jeter. He's 2 for 4, and he leads off the 7th.
Well, obviously, leading off the 7th inning with base hit is big for the Yankees, but Derek Jeter, every at-bat, has been all over Minnesota Twins pitching in this series. And no different here. Base hit, a fastball right down the middle and down a little bit. Hammers it right back up the middle. 7th multi-hit game. This leads the American League for Derek Jeter.
Here's Curtis Granderson. Count 1-0. And Maurer wants to talk with Dunsing. Let's check things out with Bob Lorenz. He's got something more to tell us. Bob, tell us something. Thanks a lot, Bob. So we'll watch that one. And the 1-0. Looped into left field. That could be trouble. Coming on Willingham, and he makes the play. Willingham got a good jump and ran it down to take a hit away from Granderson.
Willingham, not the fastest outfielder, but looked like he got a good enough jump. Slowed up a little bit. I don't know whether he thought it was going to maybe go over his head, but certainly got there in plenty enough time. Nice play.
Hey, speaking of that Red Sox score that Bob just updated you on, we'll be at Fenway on Friday. 3:15 start to the game. Yankees and the Red Sox, and we'll be on at 2. And we'll have all the highlights from the ceremony celebrating the 100th anniversary of the opening of Fenway Park. It opened in 1912. Should be a fun day there, and we'll have everything for you. And you'll see all the best of the ceremonies they have, and all the storylines that the Red Sox are involved in, and then a Yankee and a Red Sox game.
Doesn't get much better than that,
right?
No, I'm looking forward to it.
I'll be watching. You watching?
3:15 Friday afternoon. Kids will get home from school.
Or TiVo.
DVR, TiVo.
TVR, yeah.
A 2-run ball game here in the 7th inning for the Yankees. Interested to see how they respond as Burton getting loose in the Twin bullpen. You know, early on, you try to figure out a personality of a team. Are they going to be the team that plays 27 outs? Has some dramatic comebacks late in ball games where you never feel like you're out of it. See how they do tonight. Win a couple of these games early in the season, you start believing it the rest of the way.
Line drive, base hit to left field. Jeter's at second to Sherrill with his second base hit of the night, and the Yankees have the tying runs on base.
Nice to see Mark Teixeira getting hot here. Fastball, 3-1 count. Puts his foot down. Pull hitter both sides, ripping that ball. That ball was actually outer half. Nice level swing. Rick Anderson trying to calm down Ryan Dunsing. Go over a little scatter report.
Hey, Verizon customers, you won't have to miss a game again now that you can watch live Yes Network Yankees games on your PCs or laptops with Verizon Fios. Get a full season of live Yankees games on the go for just $49.99. Now, if you're a Verizon Fios TV customer with Fios Internet, all you have to do is go to yesnetwork.com to get more information and subscribe now. Robinson Cano, 2 for 3, double and a home run.
Well, this is the third inning. A little spinning slider from Marquis. Hung in the middle of the plate. First home run of the year for Robinson Cano.
There's a strike.
2 fastballs he took from Dunsing in the first game of this series. Robinson Cano was up against Dunsing. First pitch slider he swung at. Oh, ground ball out. Now here you see Dunsing attack. Wonder if Robbie was sitting breaking ball.
The 0-2. Good take there in the count 1-2.
Yeah, good pitch by Dunsing. Good take by Robinson Cano. This is where he has really matured as a hitter the last couple of years. A little more patient, a better hitter with 2 strikes than he was as a younger player. Everything has been away, Al. 3 pitches, fastball middle away, fastball away, and a slider away. We'll see if he changes it up. Maybe tries to sneak a fastball inside. We'll stick with that slider away.
Grounded softly to second. There's one. No return throw as Jeter moves to third.
Break right there, I think, for the Yankees. Pretty much a tailor-made double play ball. Looked like Castillo had a little tough time getting it out of the glove. Allowed Robinson Cano to make it to first base. Possibility here of an inning-ending double play. The Twins could not execute.
Dunsing thinking he's getting 2, but no. So that's it for him. Ron Gardner will go to the bullpen. He'll bring in the righty. He's going to spin Swisher around to the shorter part of the ballpark with the tying runs on base.
down with Michael Kay for a new GMC Presents Center Stage. This two-time Tony Award-winning New York native chronicles his stage and screen career, including his memorable role as Ferris Bueller. It's a new Center Stage tomorrow at 11 o'clock, only on Yes.
Kennedy. Remember
Look at
that?
you, yeah.
Love that movie.
No movie lines.
I remember that movie. It's a good movie.
That young lady just got proposed to.
Oh.
And I think she said yes. Well, congratulations. Best of luck. Happy life together. And I hope that tomorrow you celebrate by watching Center Stage with Matthew Broderick. There's the guy. Young love. It's beautiful.
Did you say
Jared Burton, right-hander, comes to face Nick Swisher. These are the numbers on Mr. Burton. This is his sixth game, 3 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 4 strikeouts, 7.36 ERA. Swisher tonight with 2 RBIs in the first inning, lined out to first in the third, grounded to short in the fifth. Cano's at first and Jeter is at third. We're in the bottom of the 7th. The Yankees down 6-4.
I'm kind of wondering why Ron Gardenhire goes to Burton, puts Nick Swisher into the left side of the batter's box. Swish had good numbers against Dunsing, 3 for 7 with 1 home run, 429 batting average.
I don't know. This Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
I think I'd have him give a shot to go to left.
Anything against Burton, John?
What do we have here? Nothing for Swisher against Burton. First time facing each other.
He does have a bowling ball sinker. We saw that first pitch. Velocity okay, but the ball running down and away. Tough pitch to pull to the right side. (2-0) fastball count. Dangerous count for Burton.
Twins with 11 hits, Yankees with 10. Yankees threatening again. The 2-0. Hammered foul. A little too quick on that one.
Coming right at Nick Swisher, huh?
Down and in.
Down and in, 2-0.
Broke his bat then. The danger nitro zone for left-handers. Let's see where this ball gets on the barrel. I think he just wrapped it a little too much. Barrel out in front of his hands. Too eager, right? Anxious. Getting your heater. You got it.
A little too quick.
Quick, yeah.
Even watching Nick from the side there with that kind of little abbreviated leg kick. Maybe he got a little too big too. You know, try to do a little too much. Ooh, that was a nasty pitch.
Nick had a big home run last week in Baltimore. Ended a long night.
Back leg bomb.
Against Kevin Gregg.
What if Burton can throw another changeup like he just threw? That's going to be tough for Nick Swisher. That was a nasty pitch. Great action down and away.
3-wiggle, 2-2.
Fouled away.
There it is again.
Not as good though. That Nick had a pretty good swing at that one.
There's a circle change grip. You see the OK. There's the middle ring finger that the ball comes off of. The ball was up just a little too much for the Twins. Just missed it. Fastball in here.
Fastball
right?
in, that's what I think.
I mean, based on the 3-wiggle 2-2. previous pitch.
A lot of times the signs are second sign in the sequence we'll go to, but if we shake off, sometimes you go to first sign.
Two balls, two strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Foul back. Went with the fastball that time.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you what, you give the Twins a little bit of credit here. I was always taught as a catcher, stay away from the short side of the field, especially when one swing can beat you. One swing right here gives the Yankees a lead. Twins and Burton and Maurer have been going inside on Nick Swisher with that fastball. It's a change, I think.
He gets him. Nick Swisher strikes out against Burton, and the Yankees strand 2. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. So Burton wins the battle with Swisher. We take it to the 8th inning. Burrows will lead off for the Twins. The official hybrid of the New York Yankees. Well, we go to the 8th inning. Yankees strand 2 in the bottom of the 7th on the Hyundai scoreboard. Twins holding on to a 6-4 lead. They scored 4 runs in the first inning. The Yankees have inched closer, but they have never been able to take the lead away from the Twins. And that'll bring up Sean Burrows to lead off. When you look at Burrows, it shows you what an inexact science the Major League Baseball draft is. He was considered really a can't miss. He was a first-round draft pick, 9th pick of the draft in 1998. Senior year in high school, he hit .528, 7 homers and 38 ribbies in 29 games. He had a full scholarship to USC, and then the Padres took him, and he decided to go pro, but never really lived up to the high expectations. His dad, Jeff, who was the MVP in the American League in 1974, was actually the first pick of the draft by the Senators in 1969. So they had baseball in their DNA. And that's only the second father-son pairing to go in the first round. The other one, Tom and Ben Grieve.
Huh. He was on that Little League team, remember, a long time ago.
Yeah.
Long Beach?
Yeah.
Had a decent year a couple of years ago at San Diego, but never had any power as he swings and misses against Boone Logan. Logan has struck out 3 in a row.
Well, Boone Logan has enough on his fastball you have to respect, and he beat Burrows with a fastball and then had him waving at the slider with 2 strikes.
It's got excellent tilt and depth to his slider. I think his slider early going here in 2012 is better than it was last year. Slider got a little short and flat last year, overthrown, which usually what happens if you're trying to get that nasty break every time. Trust the break. That's a nice get me over first pitch slider. And I think it's imperative for a lefty pitcher coming in to be able to get a called strike with that. Expands so much, and with Boone's velocity, so far he's looking very good.
And Boone does not consider himself a lefty specialist. He thinks he could get everybody out. And he's got the stuff that he could get people out.
He does, Michael. And I'm glad he thinks that way, because you're exactly right. I mean, he does not want to be viewed as that, and he shouldn't be. He has the stuff, effective stuff, to be able to get right-handers out, and he's shown it.
The 0-2. 4 strikeouts in a row for Logan. He has really got these lefty twin hitters on their heels. They just almost seem overmatched. You can vote along with us for tonight's Chevy Player of the Game. How do you do it? You text your vote to 42951 or vote online at yesnetwork.com. Tonight's candidates are number 1, Justin Morneau; number 2, Robinson Cano; number 3, Joe Mauer; number 4, Nick Swisher. Vote now. Make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. Here's Alexi Casilla. 2 outs in the 9th. Check that 2 outs in the 8th. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Pitch is high. Casilla with 2 hits today. Singled in the 2nd and the 6th, and rounded to a 4-6 force in the 3rd. Hot shot inside 3rd for base hit. Kicks off the wall right out to Andrew Jones. Casilla is going for 2, and Jones lollygags it and flips the ball into 3rd. Crowd is on its toes and knows that that was not a good play by Andrew Jones.
Don't really know what Andrew Jones was thinking here. I mean, Casilla runs well, but the bounce came right out to Andrew Jones, and he decided he wasn't going to deliver a strong throw into second base, conceding the double. Maybe a little stumble out of the box made this play a little bit closer than Andrew Jones thought it was going to be. Mentioned Casilla runs well. Andrew didn't realize he had a play. Perfect bounce comes right out to him. He charges it a little bit.
I mean, he takes a peek, but it's just you just don't do that. It doesn't look good. It's not the right way to play there. You make your best effort, firmest throw to second base. I don't care if he's standing up.
And that's a play in which Brett Gardner excels. He makes that play as well as any left fielder. And Andrew didn't even attempt to throw to second, so Casilla is there now. Let's see if Logan can pick him up and get Denard Span. He deals him a first pitch strike. Granderson and Jones very shallow.
Now, this is the part of the game that's really changed. All these scouting reports and all the information with the computers on where Span will hit a fly ball. And you can see Curtis Granderson in center field and Andrew Jones in left playing shallow, shading him the other way. There's so much more information now than there was on really to get specific on where to position the defense. See if it pays off.
One and two.
Well, I don't know how you feel about it, but it's about time. I mean, I think, look, every pitch is documented and traced and tracked and lines drawn and velocities and angles. I get kind of the idea that you could get inundated with too much.
Remember when I came up, it was we're going to shade him away. Shade him away. Shade him to pull. That was it. Now there's so much information with the computers, and Joe Girardi uses all of that with his coaching staff and plan accordingly.
1-2.
think, part of that whole defensive alignment. But Granderson plays a very shallow center field. I mean, where he is right there, that's almost National League pitcher shallow. And he, since at least playing with the Yankees, is a guy that feels comfortable playing in and then going out after the ball, as opposed to the opposite.
The 2-2. Grounded to short. Jeter, the long throw. Scooped up by Teixeira for the final out of the 8th. Solid performance by Boone Logan. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. Bottom of the 8th inning coming up. Raul Ibanez will lead off as the captain guns down Span. Mason postgame as Bob Lorenz recaps tonight's action and brings you the latest updates from around baseball. Plus, Joe Jordy's manager's report and Meredith Morakovitz talks to the team in the clubhouse. It's the WB Mason postgame. It is only on Yes. Raul Ibanez leads off the bottom of the 8th inning, and Burnett starts him off with a strike. Hyundai scoreboard 6-4 Twins over the Yanks. Count 1-1. Ibanez 2 for 3. 1-2.
I don't know if this was the Minnesota Twins pitching plan against the Yankee hitters, or maybe they got a little schooling of what Pavano was able to show after he settled down this first game of the series. But these right-handed pitchers especially have thrown very good changeups and a big dose of them against these Yankee hitters.
Foul tip. And Mauer holds on. But did it hit the dirt? The third base umpire, Greg Gibson, said it hit the dirt before he caught it. He said, you can hear it, I got it on the ground. So then it is not strike 3. Just a foul ball, not a foul tip.
Well, it's tough for the home plate umpire, Phil Cuzzy, to actually see this and try to call balls and strikes. Foul ball does hit the ground. Good call. Now we're trying to come up and sell the play.
Grounded to first. Parmalee flips to Burton. One away.
Watching Jared Burton, see if he's got many pitches that he's thrown in his repertoire has been changeups to the left-handers. Let's see if he does the righty. Oh, slider.
Soriano getting ready. He will pitch the ninth for the Yanks. Count 0-2.
Change up right on right. Good pitch.
Well, I know I saw the ERA at Jared Burton, but he's not pitching like a guy with a big ERA. Into this performance, 7.36 ERA in 5 games. Early in the season, only 3 2/3 innings.
And Andrew Jones strikes out for the second out. So 2 down. And that'll bring up Nunez. Count 1-0. Nunez pinch hit in the 6th inning, fouled out to Parmalee at first. Eric Chavez had started at third, a total night off, it seems like, for Alex Rodriguez. Nice play by Burrows. Gets to his feet, and a 1-2-3 inning for Jared Burton as he retires the Yankees in order. It all goes to the 9th as the Twins lead 6-4. Carroll, Maurer, and Willingham next.
been no different. The top of the first inning, a 2-run shot into the Yankee bullpen, and then he follows it up in the top of the 5th. No doubt about this one. Little slider down and in. Those are your drives of the game, your Land Rover drives of the game. But Justin Morneau.
All right, so the Yankees have to hold it right here. They're down 6-4. They will try to make it up at the bottom of the 9th inning. A tough part of the order coming up. Rafael Soriano on the mound, and he will face Jamie Carroll. And there's a strike. Yankees are trying to avoid losing 2 games to the Twins in a home series since May of 2001. And we told you coming into this series how the Yankees have dominated the Twins since Ron Gardenhire took over as manager in 2002. 18-51 the Twins are against the Yanks, and 28. That's in the Bronx, old and new Yankee Stadium. And the Twins came into this series 2-7. So the Yankees feel some pressure to rally in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Yeah, the Twins came into this series 2-7 with 4 games here in New York and then traveling to Tampa for 3. Playing some gritty baseball in this series.
I don't think it's hyperbole to think if the Twins do well in the series, it's kind of a speed bump on the road for the Yankees. They could bounce back. It could make the Twins season if they can have a good road trip, because you go into a road trip with 4 here and 3 in St. Pete, and you're 2-7, you're thinking it could be over quick.
And they got swept in Texas before they came here.
Beat 2 or 3, I mean, of their 2 wins against Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Texas wasn't easy. The Baltimore sweep was obviously not the way you want to start the season. Yeah, I think it's really about some pitching, and if the M&M boys do what they're looks like they're doing here in New York, this could be a big boost, Michael.
Lined right at Teixeira. Carroll hit it hard. Carroll is a Minnesota Twin type of player. He runs out every ground ball, works the count, makes the plays in the field. You can see why he would fit right in what they do.
It's just a tough at bat every time he steps up there. Good approach, middle of the field the other way. Plays within himself. All the cliches that you always hear about players. Michael's right. It's Minnesota Twin type player.
Indiana boy from Evanston. Grew up idolizing Don Mattingly. Talked about what a thrill it was for him playing for Donnie out in Los Angeles.
Evansville.
That's where Don Mattingly, right? Evansville?
Yes, Evanston is where
Northwestern.
John Cusack grew up, and it's also Northwestern. And Joe Girardi went to Northwestern. High pop-up, shallow left. Jeter backpedals. Coming in is Jones. He'll make the play for the second out. Matt Capps, the closer, getting ready. Breaking ball strike to Willingham.
Got a hitting streak on the line. Josh Willingham right here, 0 for 4.
11 games in a row coming into this game. First Twins player to hit safely in the first 11 games of the season in his first year with the team since back in 1972. Bobby Darwin. And now he has a 12-game hitting streak. That one kicks off the wall. Andrew Jones stumbles as Willingham gets himself a double.
Josh Willingham getting a double down the line here. Let's see now that Karam stops it. Andrew Jones making a better effort than he did the last time the ball was hit out there. Slipping, conceding obviously the double there.
They will intentionally walk more. No, that's not a bad idea. Talking things over with Larry Rothschild.
Chris Parmley 2 for 3 with a walk, showing that he's quick inside. And a couple fastballs in. Double in the third inning on a slider. Kuroda.
High fly ball down the left field line, and it falls untouched and bounces into the seats.
And seemed a little agitated with Andrew Jones out in left field. Didn't have a play on that one.
You know, they're spoiled with the speed of and the younger Brett Gardner. Yeah, maybe 10 years ago, Andrew Jones might have been able to make that a lot closer. He's just older, not as fast.
Oh, 1 count on Parmley. 1-1. 13 hits for the Twins. Twins scored 4 runs off Kuroda in the first inning. Yankees came back with 3 in the bottom of the inning, make it 4-3. Then the Twins 1 run in the third, made it 5-3. Then the Yankees scored a run in the bottom of the third, made it 5-4. And then the Twins added 1 in the fifth, and that's where we stand right now. 6-4. Twins lead. Foul back to the score. And the pitch. Skied to left field. Backing up Jones on the run. Toward the line, he makes the play for the final out of the 9th inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the 9th. It'll be 9-1-2 in the Yankee order. Do they have a rally in their bones? take a hack because Alex Rodriguez will come off the bench and pinch hit. Obviously, Alex has been a starter since he was a teenager with Seattle, so he has not had many pinch hitting appearances. In fact, 11 in his career, and he's never had a pinch hit in his career. And in those 11 at-bats, he struck out 4 times. So he will take his turn now against Matt Capps.
Well, you see the numbers for Capps: 2 saves in 2 situations, 5 hits in the 4 innings, only 1 strikeout. Well, sad to see Alex, or different to see Alex Rodriguez coming up to lead off an inning, hitting for Russell Martin, but Joe Girardi sending him up there trying to get this inning going.
Had an opportunity to use him in the 6th inning for Chavez when he would have been the tying run with a runner on first. But you elect to hold him off, and this is the only time you could really use him. You're not going to pinch hit for Jeter, Granderson, Teixeira, or Cano. So Alex will lead off. As we told you earlier, he had an unbelievable batting practice, hitting balls in the seats constantly. And then when he came out of the cage, he said to no one in particular, "This is the best I felt all year." Now let's see if that translates against Capps.
Just watching Alex Rodriguez, I always watch his front leg and see how high that leg kick is. Watching the 2 takes, the leg kick is very, very abbreviated. Almost looks like he's spread out a little bit. Maybe that's why his batting practice was so good. Using his hands a little bit more. It looks a little more spread out to me right there.
Clip the outside corner for strike 2. Crowd of 36,831 here at the stadium. Been raining off and on all night. 3rd game of this 4-game set. These 2 teams have split the first 2. Tomorrow night, the finale, we'll have it here on Yes, the 1-2. BP show starts at 6. Pre-game at 6:30. First pitch right around 7:08. Looks like Capps broke his belt. That all straightened out.
A little different pitcher now. Matt Capps is a guy, hard thrower with the Pirates. Velocity's down the last couple years. More of a slider, sinker, closer.
The 2-2. Grounded to third. Burrows. And there's one away. Now to the top of the lineup, and Derek Jeter. Derek 2 for 4 tonight. Hitting a lusty .377 in the early going. Off to a great start. In stark contrast to last year, when he kind of stumbled out of the gate, questions were asked. He hurt his calf, went on the DL, came back a different guy. Or at least a different hitter. Always worked hard. The 0-1. 0-2. The 0-2. Foul back. A little fist bump from a buddy. This was earlier in the game. What a throw for that kid. Talking to the Yankee center field, having a running dialogue throughout the game. The 0-2. 1-2. Two and two. Yankees need a base runner. That'll bring the tying run to the plate. Caps deals. Fouled away.
You know, this at bat right here, you're just looking into how Derek's approach against Matt Capps, who's thrown some pretty good fastballs. How late Derek Jeter waits on the baseball, and it's because of his ability to drive the ball the right side, which makes him less susceptible to be out in front of off-speed pitches. He just looks very comfortable in the box.
Just stays alive, fouls it off.
Yeah, good pitch right there by Capps, and a nice job by Derek Jeter to foul it off. With a 2-run lead, I expected Capps to come with another fastball. Looks like a little slider cutter down and away.
Inside, trying to nip the inside corner. But just even there, I mean, you know, he's out in front. There was a changeup where he took a, saw it well down, fighting off the close fastballs. And you sense that as a pitcher. You know, when you make a good pitch and you got a guy like Derek that's locked in, you got to be absolutely on corners and pitch backwards.
Battling. Still 2-2.
Those are quality pitchers' pitches, those last two. And Derek's able to spoil it.
See who wins this battle, though. I mean, we're used to seeing these at-bats from Derek all the time where he fouls off pitches, has quality at-bats, but this guy's in the dugout for the Yankees paying attention. He can come through with a base hit or a walk right here. All of a sudden, you start believing you can make something happen here in the bottom of the ninth.
And the 2-2. All right, he's worked it full. A 10-pitch at bat. It will be the 10th pitch coming up. Driven out to deep right center field. Span on the run. Going back. Gone. See ya. A home run for Jeter. He wins the long battle and pulls the Yankees to within one. 4 home runs now for Derek Jeter. That's quite an at-bat for the captain.
Well, what a year. What a start to the year for Derek Jeter. But you're right, Michael. What an at-bat. Mentioned his teammates in that dugout paying attention to how it would work out. Well, Derek Jeter wins the battle. Fastball middle in, like he's been doing all year in his whole career, going the other way and driving it in the Yankee bullpen. A little bit of life here at the new Yankee Stadium.
There's a strike to Granderson.
Just absolutely marvel at that at bat. And if you look, you know, the last inning or so, at least in the 8th inning, there were 12 pitches in the 8th inning, Michael. And that's why when you appreciate what Derek is doing right now, that was a tough at bat for Capps to try to get Derek out. The power that he's shown in right center field. 10-pitch at bat in the 8th inning. 12 pitches were thrown to Ibanez, Andrew Jones, and Eduardo Nunez. You know, fight every single pitch.
Granderson goes down on strikes, and the Yankees are down to their final out.
I give Capps a little credit right there after that long at bat to Derek Jeter ends up in the home run. He came right back on Curtis Granderson and got tough. 79th game last year before he hit his 4th home run.
Three-hit game for Jeter tonight, the 266th three-hit game or more hits in his career, 3 or more hits. So it comes down to Mark Teixeira, 2 hits tonight. Teixeira against Caps. Yankees down by 1. Cap fires a 94-mile-an-hour fastball for a strike. Count 1-1. Robinson Cano is on deck. Check swing, foul back. Last 4 games, Teixeira's starting to heat up. Still hasn't hit a home run though. 7 for 16 with 2 ribbies. One ball, 2 strikes. The pitch misses outside.
That's the pitch that Matt Capps has shown that he's thrown very effective to the left-handers. Actually, all these right-handed pitchers from the Minnesota Twins this series. Change up, down and away. See if he doubles up.
High fly ball. Didn't get it. Cleet Thomas is there and makes the play, and that will do it as the Twins beat the Yankees 6-5. Just missed it. So Derek Jeter pulls the Yankees to within 1 with his 4th home run of the year. Mark Teixeira looking for his 1st home run. Just missed it with a high fly ball to right. Cleet Thomas right in front of the warning track makes the play, and the Yankees lose 6-5.
Well, you said it, Michael. Just in enough to where Teixeira couldn't get his hands in enough to where he got the barrel of the bat on the ball, got underneath it. Matt Capps in the height of it, and it just wasn't enough for the Yankees. See Cleet Thomas, he's got it camped. Just missed it.
Tough loss for the Yankees as they lose the 2nd game to the Twins in a series here at Yankee Stadium for the first time since 2001. Disappointing loss indeed. Stick around for the postgame show to find out who's today's Chevy Player of the Game. Ron Gardenhire, who's had so little luck here in the Bronx, enjoying taking 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. The finale tomorrow night. We'll come back and wrap it up in a moment.